It's Tuesday, February 3rd. More than a dozen energy employees have been laid off after a recent investigation uncovered a fuel theft scheme.
We're in finally making money again.
Canola prices are on an uptick this week, bringing relief to Saskatchewan farmers.
The bond that me and Trevor have developed over the 2 years, and then him signing and just getting pumped that he gets to play another season of football, it was a big reason.
Raptors are bringing back a cornerstone of their championship running game. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Big day in Ryderville. Released a veteran and re-signed a Thor, the big guy.
Are you happy or sad about these changes?
Oh, Brett gave so much to the community.
Absolutely.
So much to the community.
And great guy, too.
New dad. At least he has some extra time to,
spend with that beautiful family of his.
Before summer signs him up. Inevitably, that's going to happen. Let's get to weather in just a minute. First, look at some news. And it starts on a tragic note. 3 junior hockey players were killed in a car crash in Alberta on their way to practice.
We now ask you to please rise if you're able. Join us in observing a moment of silence in remembrance of these 3 young men.
A moment of silence was held last night at the Calgary Flames game. The crash happened near the town of Stavely around 11 yesterday morning. 18-year-old Cameron Kishoroso and 18-year-old JJ Wright, both from Kamloops, were killed. 17-year-old Caden Fine from Birmingham, Alabama, was also killed. They played for the Southern Alberta Mustangs. The 3 teenagers were killed when the car they were in collided with a gravel truck. In a social media post, their team writes, there are no words that can adequately express the depth of our grief. These young men were more than hockey players. They were teammates, sons, brothers, friends, and deeply loved members of our Mustangs family and the communities we call home. It's a feeling that the Humboldt Broncos know all too well. They released a statement saying, in part, we stand with you, we mourn with you, we are with you. Prime Minister Mark Carney writes in a post, Canadians are keeping the entire Southern Alberta Mustangs community in our thoughts. As China secures a massive shipment of Canadian-grown canola, Saskatchewan farmers are breathing a sigh of relief after a year-long trade uncertainty. While most producers aren't totally comfortable in the market yet, it is a sign of upward progress. Sierra D'Souza Butts reports.
John Kodalak, who has been seeding canola on his family farm in Balcarres for decades, says there are always challenges to overcome when it comes to growing a high-yield crop. But Chinese tariffs were a source of major stress, especially combined with rising costs elsewhere.
When it's that kind of uncertainty, it does put stress on, and you're trying to figure out how to pay the bills and get everything done. And, the price of fertilizer, chemical has all continued to increase.
Now, less than 2 weeks after an agreement between the Chinese and Canadian governments, the tariffs are down to the point producers like Kodalak have a bit of breathing room.
From what I've seen, the basis is almost dropped in half. And once you get to that level, it's in the area of making money again.
We're seeing, I think, about 600,000 tons that are on their way to China. So that is exactly what we needed for to retain some profitability in this year's crop year, but also to provide some certainty for our seeding intentions in next year.
A professor of agriculture and resource economics from the UFS says the reason for the purchase was based on China running out of canola supply from other markets since imposing the tariff on Canadian agricultural products in March 2025.
Their only other really viable option was Australia, and they'd put a ban on importing canola from Australia due to blackleg in Australia. So they had to lift that ban, but I think they were running out, their domestic supplies were dwindling, and they were obviously putting some pressure on the Chinese government to come up with an agreement with Canada.
Although canola is taking a positive turn in the market right now, Kodalak says there's more work that needs to be done to keep it that way.
Should get guys a little more happy to grow canola next summer. We could get hit again with tariffs. You never know, but it's part of the life of farming nowadays.
Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
The federal government has denied an application by Saskatchewan and Alberta to reintroduce Strychnine on an emergency pest control basis this year. The two provinces made the request to help with population control at the Richardson ground squirrel, often referred to as gophers in Saskatchewan. On Monday, the province said Health Canada's Pest Management Regulatory Agency denied the request for asking for reconsideration now, as producers deal with a high population. Strychnine was outlawed by the province in 2023 after a 2-year phase-out, followed by a federal ban the following year. Saskatoon is going to be watching its snow removal contractors a little closer. Jeremy Dodge, why?
Good morning, Daryl. A motion raised at the last City Council meeting is looking at monitoring the quality of snow clearing efforts from third-party contractors and then use that information to award future contracts. Right now, the city awards snow clearing contracts to the lowest bidders. Randy Donauer discovered the gap when the city published updates after a major snowfall last year where he saw his area of the city was being cleared more slowly than others.
Everybody should get a similar quality or a similar level of service. And the way I see it, we've done this in other areas of procurement with the city where we don't just always look for lowest price, because sometimes you do get what you pay for. So there's certain things we buy that we specify criteria, not just lowest price.
The motion was given unanimous support, and administration will report back to council with their findings. Saskatoon's TCU Place will have a new name next year. After a 2-decade naming agreement, TCU Financial and TCU Place have announced the deal will end on December 31st. TCU Place says this is a planned transition and creates an opportunity for a new naming partner as it helps in the planning for the new downtown event and entertainment district. The venue was formerly known as Centennial Auditorium before the deal with TCU.
Well, I'll take it from here, Jeremy. It happened.
Rush
The
hour
crash happened on
Regina's
South
Ring Road Monday caused some major delays, Daryl.
Gotta love this technology when it works, Jeremy. Sorry about that. It happened on southbound Ring Road, just south of Dewdney Avenue's overpass. At least 2 vehicles including a white pickup truck that appeared to slam into a light pole and car. It was reopened by 7 o'clock last night. Police have not said if there were any injuries or charges. White City Town Council has voted in favor of a townhouse rental development. This is a controversial one in the community. It passed Sunday by a vote of 3-2. If built, it will feature rows and stacked units, duplexes, triplexes rather, and 4-story apartments. Now, a public hearing for residents was held January 5th with over 30 residents rejecting the project and another 100 residents giving written submissions. The current proposal doesn't fit the current zoning bylaws and would require amendments for moving forward. Former Prime Minister Stephen Harper is back in Ottawa this week to mark 20 years since his Conservative government took office.
I think the reality is federal government manages this country right, puts the stress on unity and not on ideological tangents, and there's no reason why we can't pull the country together at this moment.
Former Prime Minister Stephen Harper and former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien sat down yesterday together for a fireside chat. They talked about national unity in the face of U.S. tensions and in the face of rising separatism inside the country. Prime Minister Harper was recognized by the Royal Canadian Geographical Society for his public service. His official portrait will be unveiled today. Canada's Jeremy Hansen will not be heading to space this month after NASA delayed the launch of its Artemis 2 rocket. Yesterday, critical fuel tests stalled out with about 5 minutes and 15 seconds left in countdown. NASA made the call to delay the launch this morning after multiple fuel leaks during the test. It's now looking at a new launch date, possibly as early as March 6th. It's also possible it may not happen until April. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have released one of their longest-serving players.
Lucky white hit in the end zone if Lowther misses. And Brett Lowther doesn't do that. It's a walk-off game winner for Brett Lowther and the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Brett Lowther played 8 seasons with the Riders and endeared himself to fans with moments like this. Lowther leaves the Riders as the franchise's 3rd highest scoring player, amassing over 1,000 points, scored in more than 100 games in green and white, and he was a Grey Cup champion as well. His impact with the team extending off the field as well. As you know, he has many important commitments to the Rough Rider Foundation in Saskatchewan, schools, and with the CFLPA. A classy gentleman. Let's get over to the weather center. Got the power suit on. That means we got warm temperatures coming.
Well, usually the pink is what's indicative of the cold, but actually that's not what we're seeing in Saskatchewan today. We have the potential of breaking some February 3rd heat records today. I'm going to show you that on our almanac in just a moment. Let's talk about these current temperatures all across the country. So to the west of Saskatchewan, we're seeing some really nice temperatures. You see that light blue color, 9 degrees in Vancouver, 1 degree in Edmonton and Calgary, -9 though in Saskatoon and -4 in Regina. So although that seems cooler compared to what we're seeing out west, that is warmer than what we have been seeing in the past few days. So it's not all bad. Taking a look over in Manitoba, though, very cold temperatures this morning. -22 in Winnipeg, -18 in Thompson, -16 in Churchill, and -17 in Thunder Bay as we look towards Ontario there. Some cooler temperatures as well over in Quebec. We have -12 in Montreal, so we still are seeing some of those pink colors. Later on into the afternoon, though, Saskatchewan seeing some really nice temperatures. 2 degrees expected for Swift Current today, a mix of sun and cloud. 2 degrees for Moose Jaw, also seeing some of that sunshine. 1 degree for Weyburn with some cloud cover, and -1 in Estevan with that cloud cover as well. So even Yorkton seeing a bit of a warm up today. Not bad. Let's take a look at this almanac here. So with that expected high in Regina and Saskatoon of -1 today, the average for this time of year in Regina is about -8.9, and in Saskatoon the average is -10. So we are well above that seasonal average today. Last year in Regina on February 3rd, we were at -25.1, and in Saskatoon we were at -24.6. So a significant improvement from where we were at last year. And take a look at those records, folks. In 1991 in Regina, the record for February 3rd is 6.6 degrees, and the record for 1954 was 6.1. So although we're not exactly reaching those records here in Regina and Saskatoon, there are some areas in the province that could be reaching those record temperatures. Today's wind gusts are a little bit elevated from what we saw yesterday. So right around the Parkland region, we're seeing them gusting up to about 40 kilometers per hour. That's all those areas that are lighting up in yellow. Don't worry too much about that for other areas. They're only gusting up to about 25 to 30 kilometers per hour. Now, 7-day forecast looking really good with these temperatures warming up from today onwards. So 6 degrees tomorrow for Regina, 8 degrees on Thursday expected, 2 degrees on Friday, and then we're dropping down a little bit for the weekend, 3 degrees on Saturday and 5 degrees on Sunday. However, still well above that seasonal average. In Saskatoon, 5 degrees tomorrow, 7 degrees on Thursday, mix of sun and clouds, 0 degrees on Friday, 1 degree expected on Saturday, and some more flurries on the way for Sunday. That's going to be in the afternoon. On Monday, you see that flurry icon. That's likely into the evening hours.
A University of Saskatchewan student is using TikTok to help people tackle social anxiety. And as Stacey Hine tells us, his message is reaching far beyond campus.
Sure, people might look at you and judge for like 2 seconds, but for the most part, they've got a million other things that they got to worry about on a day-to-day basis, and you simply are not one of them.
It's a reminder from Auckland Nikolaiu. Don't let fear of judgment hold you back. The 4th-year business student uses TikTok to share that message and encourage people to face social anxiety.
So do what you want to do.
After a year of consistent posting, he says creating the videos has helped him face his own fears.
The first time I ever filmed in public, heart rate was up, sweating, nervous, scared, all those things. But at the end of the day, I think making content has allowed me to push myself in unique ways.
One of those unique ways, lying on the ground in a public place as dozens of people walk by. Nikolaiu says he got the idea from a book called The 4-Hour Workweek.
When I first read it, I also thought it was crazy. But with enough practice and enough effort, you adjust to these environments.
One of his videos has since garnered 22.5 million views, with people from around the world reaching out for advice on managing social anxiety.
All of the feedback has been pretty well positive, which has been very nice to see a lot of people struggling with those same things.
Nikolai says taking drama classes has also helped him step out of his comfort zone. His former drama professor says he's seen that growth firsthand and calls the videos an unexpected but effective use of social media.
I'm deeply suspicious of social media. I think it's actually contributing to a lot of the social anxiety that people experience. So it's nice to see it used to help challenge that. And I think that's a very clever aspect of what is happening here.
Nikolai says social anxiety may never fully go away, but he believes it can be easier to manage over time.
It's consistent baby steps along the way that matter.
Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
In case you missed it, the World Marathon Challenge is now underway. Competitors are set to run 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days. Woo. The most difficult one is likely already out of the way. The opening leg at the Ultima base in Antarctica on Saturday. Sunday, competitors ran in Cape Town and yesterday in Perth. Then they go to Dubai, Madrid, Brazil, and Miami to finish it off.
What an experience. If you're going to do it, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, you know what? If you're going to go, go hard.
Isn't a marathon 50,
if I didn't hate running, I'd be all about this.
That's what I think, too.
Janelle and I can do about 20 minutes on the treadmill before we get really bored and say, what else can we be doing?
Oh, that'll get you there.
We're
You
just
need
really
to crank up the intensity if you're getting bored.
No, you know what we did actually last week is we put Hairspray on our phones and hit play at the same time and watched Hairspray together on the treadmill.
That'll never get you through.
Yeah,
fun.
Whatever else, right?
Question of the day, maybe that is your dream vacation, to go and run an ultra marathon in all these different places. We want to know what your dream vacation is.
Yeah, so today is actually National Take a Cruise Day. Again, there's a national day for everything.
Of course there is.
So we're asking you, what is your dream vacation? Jeremy, do you have one?
I don't dream about vacationing that much. I guess I'd like to try one of the really expensive Disney cruises. I don't think that'll ever be in my price range. Something tropical with friends, honestly, all inclusive.
You got to get all those dance competitions that you take vacations for in tropical places. Then you get 2 birds, 1 stone. You run out of vacation time.
Yeah, we're going to Moose Jaw, Edmonton this year.
There you go. There you go.
We did Vegas when I was a dancer. We did Vegas and Disneyland.
You did Disneyland?
Yeah.
We've done Vegas, Disney, Arizona, so those are nice.
I got to get to Norway one of these days. What did you want to go to? Where do you want to go? Text us your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or scan the QR code on your screen. Let's take a look over the city of Saskatoon. As you fill up your coffee, we're back in just 2 minutes' time.
Welcome inside the Sports Center newsroom. Jermaine Franklin with your must-see moment from Monday. For it, we're heading to Minnesota. The Habs visiting the Wild. Less than a minute to go in the first. Brendan Gallagher skates around Quinn Hughes and then dekes out Philip Gustafsson for an amazing goal. A great move by Gallagher, going to his backhand in tight. Just his 5th of the season. That is your must-see moment from Monday. And Tuesday on TSN, you can see the 2026 NFL Pro Bowl games. Coverage starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders have re-signed a key piece of their Grey Cup championship run. Jacob Carr with why Thor wanted to stay in Riderville.
Rider Nation can look forward to at least one more season of seeing the bruising running style of AJ Ouellette in green and white. The Ohio product says he hoped to remain with the team, and his relationship and desire to win back-to-back Grey Cups with quarterback Trevor Harris is one of the main reasons.
Just the bond that me and Trevor have developed over the 2 years, and then him signing and just getting pumped that he gets to play another season of football and possibly 3 more. We'll see how he he feels after this one. But yeah, it was a big reason.
With the Riders heading into 2026 as the defending Grey Cup champs, not only is there a target on their back, but according to reports from TSN's Farhan Lalji and Dave Naylor, a handful of players have agreed to terms with other teams during the free agency communication window. That includes defensive lineman Malik Carney with the Edmonton Elks, linebacker CJ Revis and AJ Allen head to the nation's capital to join the Red Blacks, while Western final hero Tommy Neild has signed with the rival Blue Bombers. But Ouellette knows players coming and going is part of a bittersweet business.
The sweet's always good, right? After the Grey Cup, you know that's the last time that group is going to be together as a whole group. And you wish the best for everyone.
Ouellette is no stranger to going into a season as the hunted, having won a Grey Cup with Toronto in 2022. He says it's key to mix confidence with work ethic.
That'll be my leadership going into this season, is have that confidence, but back it with the work like you did the previous year, because you should be confident. We just won, right? So walk with your chest out, but put in the work.
CFL teams have until noon on February 8th to speak to pending free agents, while no deals can become legally binding until February 10th. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, not a bad morning. -4 right now with a few clouds to start the day. -9 in Saskatoon right now. Winds pretty low for the morning. In Regina, we are seeing some significant fog, though, so be careful of that. By lunchtime in Regina, -2 with a mix of sun and cloud. Winds will be increasing up to about 30 kilometers per hour, and then getting stronger by final bell as we reach that expected daytime high of -1 with some more clouds. In Saskatoon at lunchtime, -3, mix of sun and cloud, winds coming in up to 30 kilometers per hour and going down by final bell as we reach that expected daytime high of -1. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common price this morning, $1.19.9. The lowest you might find is $1.02.9. In Saskatoon, the common price, $1.17.9, and you might find it for as low as $1.09.9. Over to the farm markets now, where we find the street price of canola at $5.96.53 per ton, and the futures price at $6.45 even per ton. Amber durum wheat now sits at $278.59 per ton, and red spring wheat at $254.15 per ton. And the Canadian dollar trading down this morning. It's at 73.12 cents US. Coming up on the show, Super Bowl champion John Ryan tees up this weekend's big game. Stay with us.
Tasayani, good morning. Welcome to your morning. It is 6:31. We begin with more than a dozen Sask Energy employees being laid off after a recent investigation uncovered a fuel theft scheme. According to the Crown Corporation, 13 employees were indefinitely suspended following an internal investigation which centered around an internal fuel theft, mainly within its construction department, between February of 2024 and summer of 2025. Sask Energy declined further comment, but says it intends to recover the value of the fuel taken. MPs in the House of Commons have voted unanimously to fast-track the Liberal government's GST relief bill.
See it back in the House on Wednesday so we can provide real relief expeditiously for families. Now, if you work here, you know that that's lightning speed.
It was the Conservatives who put forward the motion to fast-track the bill. It's aimed at putting more money in the pockets of Canadians to help with grocery bills. The Parliamentary Budget Office estimates the cost will come out to more than $12 billion over 6 years. The bill is expected to pass in the House tomorrow before heading to the Senate. Saskatoon police are investigating 3 serious assaults they believe may be connected. The first happened Saturday afternoon in the 700 block of Weldon Avenue. SPS says they were told several people forced their way into a home and assaulted a 37-year-old man. Police were then told about another person who was injured nearby. A 35-year-old man was found badly injured. Then a short time later, a 45-year-old man went to St. Paul's Hospital and was treated for his injuries. Police are working to find who was responsible. Atlantic Canada cleaning up after its 3rd winter storm in 3 weeks.
It's crazy. I don't know where to put it. We get so much snow. It's like it's hard to shovel it, and it's hard on the back, hard on the knees.
Farmers here would take some of that moisture. Much of the region avoided the worst of the nor'easter, except for Cape Breton. The head of the public works there says that the storm brought more snow than the 1 week from last week. Crews have been working around the clock to clear the roads. The storm did result in a pause for sailings at the Newfoundland Ferry. Officials hope to clear the backlog by today. If you're in need of a visual reminder of how cold it has been out east, here it is. Tourists have been flocking to Niagara Falls to catch a glimpse of the frosty wonderland. They are stunning, the images, the ice formations in the water, which is partially frozen over, plus the nearby trees and railings are covered in ice. Canadians are sitting on $2 billion worth of uncashed government checks. Data shows that roughly 3.9 million paper checks were issued to Canadians over the past 4 fiscal years, and they haven't been cashed yet. The checks were for various tax refunds, pension checks, and other CRA benefits. For example, $42.8 million in checks issued to families through the Canada Child Benefit went uncollected, and Canadians failed to deposit more than $140 million in carbon rebate checks. The administrative cost for the government to issue a check is about $1.83. That means issuing the 121 million checks mailed out from April 2022 to September 2025 likely cost you, the taxpayer, about $222 million. Thousands of Alberta government workers are returning to the office as part of Alberta government's hybrid work plan ends. The February 1st deadline, that marks the official end of Alberta's hybrid work option, which was implemented during the pandemic. More than 12,000 workers had hybrid arrangements. The Alberta Union of Public Provincial Employees, which represents about 9,000 of them, says its members are being ordered back full-time, in part to help local economies. Alberta says the government has been rejecting that accusation. Warman is gaining national attention after a major jump in livability. The city north of Saskatoon climbed more than 100 spots in just 1 year, landing among the top 20 places to live in all of Canada. A new national ranking places the growing bedroom community at a number 19 overall, one of the biggest year-over-year gains in the country, more than 100 spots. Now, the city leaders credit steady growth, strong local business, and a high quality of life. While larger cities like Saskatoon and Regina slipped in the rankings, Warman stands out for safety, which it earned a #1 spot for nationally. Housing and community amenities are also part of that criteria.
It's wonderful news, and see us move up 115 spots was incredible, and getting the phone call about, what are some of the things that have been happening, and we have a wonderful city. We knew that, the safest city in Canada, that was a bit of a surprise, but I think it really is a community effort.
The rankings are based on factors including economy, housing, safety, and healthcare. Warman's population has grown to nearly 14,700 and shows no signs of slowing down. One Regina retirement home is proving age is just a number, competing in their 17th annual all-senior games. The College Park 1 retirement community holding the opening ceremonies Monday for 150 residents participating in the fun and festive events. Bocce, shuffleboard, bingo, just some of the events the residents took place in throughout the week. These senior games take place each year, but this time they coincide with the Winter Olympics.
We're kind of the prequel to the Olympics, right? We've got in one step ahead of them, so we will excitedly follow the Olympics with the residents and keep up with them.
The opening ceremonies featured a beanbag toss competition between the police chief and deputy fire chief. Newly minted Regina Police Chief Lorelei Davies coming through with a gold medal performance, in case you're keeping track. Let's get over to the Weather Center. Not a lot of games you want to play outside. You can't even see behind you.
Yeah, you can. That's what I want to start by talking to you about, because we are seeing the visibility out on the roads in Regina significantly reduced right now. In Regina, it's at about 0.4 kilometers. Down through the southeast corner, that's where we're continuing to see that fog this morning. So Estevan also very impacted by the fog this morning. Weyburn also seeing some of that fog. So if you have to get to work, hit the road. You're going to need some extra time out there this morning. Take it slow out there. -4 in Regina with that heavy fog this morning. Winds coming in fairly low right now at 11 kilometers per hour. The winds are going to be increasing for our afternoon, likely surpassing 30 kilometers per hour. -9 to wake us up in Saskatoon. And isn't this a prettier picture than what we're seeing seeing down south. We are seeing a few clouds in the sky, but really not seeing that fog this morning. 13 km/h winds, so not a bad start to the day in central Saskatchewan. Today's wind gusts, as mentioned, are going to be increasing, mainly around areas in the Parkland region. So Yorkton, you're going to be seeing the strongest winds, gusts up to about 40 km/h. Estevan also going to be seeing some of those higher wind gusts. Other areas, not so bad. Saskatoon, Kindersley, North Battleford, we're going to be seeing them surpassing 20 km/h, but still not bad. Futurecast showing that we are going to be seeing a few little spots of very light flurries. It's just going to be a very light dusting in areas between Regina and Saskatoon today. Other than that, we're just talking about the clouds. Saskatoon, as you can see, going to be seeing a pocket of sunshine. This is at about 4 p.m. there today. Other than that, we are going to be seeing the clouds increasing as we look towards the overnight hours and into tomorrow. I also want to talk about that system that's going to be making its way into the north from Alberta. This is overnight and into tomorrow morning. What you're looking at on the screen right now is about 7:15 a.m. So northern Saskatchewan is going to be seeing a significant amount of snow. It's a rather large system. But with these warmer temperatures, we're also going to be seeing a little bit of rain and freezing rain with that. Temperatures really, really good today, above the seasonal average all across the board. -2 for the Battleford today with that cloud cover. Saskatoon, again, with that pocket of sunshine, -1 in Regina, mainly cloudy, but again, a little bit of sunshine. 2 degrees for Moose Jaw, mainly cloudy. 1 degree for Weyburn, -1 for Estevan, and -2 for Yorkton. Swift Current, again, going to be seeing some of those warmer temperatures down in that southwest corner, but for the time being, we're projecting Swift Current to be matching that temperature in Moose Jaw at 2 degrees.
Precious metals have made their comeback after a sharp sell-off over the last few days. Gold climbed more than 5% to $4,900, and silver jumped 10%. U.S. Treasuries have posted a small retreat, with the 10-year yield up slightly, and the U.S. dollar fell to start the day. Canadian Pacific Kansas City says it moved 2.4 million tons of grain last month, beating the previous record set in January of 2023. The Calgary-based company says the number of carloads last month also beat records. This comes after the CPKC said last week that a bumper crop helped drive fourth quarter grain revenues to record highs. And those are your morning business headlines for BNN Bloomberg. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Clock still moving down to 36. Russell is taking his time. Wilson, quick throw. And it's good. Intercepted.
The stage is set for Super Bowl 60, and that clip will be on your screen about 312 times over the next few days as we get you set for the big game right here on CTV. And nobody better in the world to speak on it for us than a Super Bowl champion. John Ryan, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me. And I think I've seen that clip 312 too many times this week. So if I never see it again, it'll be too soon.
I imagine that to be true. First and foremost, say hi to your mom and sisters. I know they're watching.
I always say hi to Mom.
All right. Fair
Love
enough.
you.
Fair enough. Hey, this matchup on paper seems to favor your Seattle Seahawks. How do you look at it?
It's a Super Bowl. It's one game. It's not like the MLB or the NHL where it's a best of 7, and anything can happen in those 60 minutes. So, yeah, I think we're favored by 4.5, something like that. But it's going to be a good game come Sunday.
I'm going to make you say something nice about the opposition. What do you like about Mike Vrabel, Drake May, and the New England Patriots squad?
They have the football team.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But you have to like their chances. You have to legitimately like their chances, right?
I kid, because what they did to us 11 years ago. But they're a great football team, very well coached, very well put together. I think Drake May is a great quarterback. I think they're kind of 2 or 3 years ahead of schedule. I kind of predicted them to be this good maybe in 2027, 2028. So what they've done with that team and done it this quickly with a young quarterback has been very impressive.
Certainly the GM of the now former GM of the Minnesota Vikings did not expect for Sam Darnold to do what he's done this year. How do you place this team? This was not the expectation heading into the season.
Much like New England, I think they're a couple of years ahead of schedule. I think Mike McDonald has put together an unbelievable defense, as we knew he would. I didn't think the offense would be this good this soon. But picking up Sam Darnold has been absolutely a fantastic pickup, for the price they got him at, to get a guy of that caliber to come in this quickly and be an all-pro level quarterback has been a lot of fun to watch. I thought they were going to be an 11, maybe a 12-win team coming to the season, and we've seen what they've done, and it's just been really impressive.
Take me into the mindset of an NFL player. The videos are all on social media now. They're arriving on site. There's all the cameras. There's everything. What's it like for a player this week?
Very uncomfortable. It's football's all about routine. You're very much used to playing every week. You have, as I said, your routine is the exact same every single week, where your practice facility, where you sleep, what you eat, everything is very consistent. And when you go to the Super Bowl, everything's different. You saw yesterday all the players getting out there to San Francisco, San Jose area, and they're just going to be in for an entire week of new stuff that's very uncomfortable, a lot of media attention, different practice facility, different meeting facility. Everything feels a little bit discombobulated. When I played in those two games, the first time I really felt comfortable was on that Sunday afternoon when I stepped on the field. The entire week was I felt all out of sorts.
Is it just about who can embrace that uncomfortable and rise to the occasion in that moment then?
Yeah, I would say that. I think that neither team has a lot of experience in this game. Traditionally both teams have been there a lot, but if you look at the players on the two teams, no one's really been there a lot. So it's going to be really who can adapt to the new setting quicker.
You're going to be there. How weird is it going to be to not be on the field and be up in the stands?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot less pressure. Go in there to, party a little bit, have a few beers come Sunday, and to be able to sit up in the stands with my wife. It's going to be a different feeling, but I'm very much looking forward to it.
I know what you're going to say here in terms of who's going to win, but what's the score?
It's going to be a good game. I'm going to say something like 27-21. I think that it's not going to be a blowout by any means. I think it's going to be a good game.
All right, John. Thanks for doing this. Appreciate a couple minutes.
You bet, buddy.
Canadian Blood Services is seeing a decline in supply as winter weather tightens its grip across the province. Janelle Lippi is on location this morning to find out what this means and how we can be a part of the solution.
Good morning. Aaron Barlow and I are down at Canadian Blood Services here this morning. We've got lots to talk about, Aaron, but first of all, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for coming down and visiting me.
Let's talk a little bit about what Canadian Blood Services is all about.
Well, Canadian Blood Services manages Canada's blood supply for all the provinces with the exception of Quebec, which is managed by Hema Quebec. Right here at our Regina Donor Center, we have a number of ways you can get involved that we'll be speaking about. Of course, you can donate blood, plasma, platelets, but you can also register if you're between the ages of 17 to 35 to become a stem cell donor. And we also work in partnership with the Health Authority to register your intent to become an organ and tissue donor.
All right, so a really, really important operation going on here. Now let's talk about who that blood directly impacts.
It impacts patients. Every moment of every day, somebody in Canada needs blood or blood products. And by that same measure, 1 in 2 Canadians are actually eligible to donate blood.
All right. And in the midst of this cold snap that we are in right now, we're seeing that halt in blood donations. How can people get involved?
Well, there's a number of things that are impacting, of course, our collections. Weather, it's also cold and flu season, and people are getting away on their winter travels. So how you can get involved is by going to blood.ca, visiting and booking your appointment there. You can learn more about eligibility. You can call 1-888-236-6283, which is our 1-888-2DONATE number, or download the handy Give Blood app. All those things will allow you to find out more information about how you can get involved right here at our Regina or Saskatoon Donor Center. Book that appointment and come down, give blood.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much for being here. This is such an important conversation. Once again, those clinics are both in Regina and in Saskatoon. If you have the capacity and the ability, make sure you're coming on down and giving that donation. That can help save a life.
It's February 3rd and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Luke. He's turning 10 years old today. Welcome to Double Digits with love from your mom, dad, and Hannah. And we got this picture to say happy 23rd birthday to this birthday girl, but we didn't get her name. Regardless, lots of love coming to you from your mom, dad, and Nevaeh. Enjoy your day.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
Oh, what do you get to give away while Chase is in Mexico getting a sunburn?
Thanks for rubbing that in. Yes, actually, a lot of things. Big thanks again for you guys helping out with our Crack the Co-op code. No one did that yesterday, so we still have 6 unknown co-op digits, and every digit that is not rightly guessed or correctly guessed is the better way to say it. We put $50 onto the pot, so now we have $150 gift cards sitting for you, waiting to crack the code a little after 7 o'clock. You can listen to us at purecountry927.ca. Also, Daryl, we're playing tag for Hardy tickets. Hardy's going to be up in Saskatoon at the SaskTel Center. We already had a winner at 6:30. You have to remember the name of that winner to win at 7:30, and then you have to remember that name to win at 8:30 all the way to 9:30. So if you missed this morning's earliest winner, her name is Alicia Hubbard. At 7:30, I'm going to ask you that to win more Hardy tickets. So tag you're it. All the details at purecountry927.ca.
Fight for it?
Yes, sir.
I need to hear you a little louder. Y'all willing to fight for it?
Yes, sir.
The official trailer is out for Michael. Two-time Oscar nominee Coleman Domingo plays Joe Jackson, with Jafar Jackson, Michael's nephew, in the title role. The film, tracing the life and career of the iconic performer, arrives in theaters April 24th.
Hey, you, I see you.
Jessica Chastain wades into Me Too waters in a new film. Variety reports the Oscar winner will star in This Is Pleasure, as a woman whose closest friend, played by Chris Pine, faces accusations of misconduct. The film will be based on an acclaimed novella by Mary Gateskill.
The big snowstorm is coming next week. That's when we'll start the campaign.
Stranger Things, Tales from 85 takes place between seasons 2 and 3 of the live-action show, using an 80s animation style for an adventure featuring the Hawkins kids and a mysterious new threat. This teaser just dropped. The series debuts April 23rd on Netflix. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Let's get to our sidebar and a little nostalgia from the 90s.
Okay, we're pretending it's the 90s, okay? You're living outside now. You don't come in.
Tonight we're gonna come in.
No, I mean you come in when you sleep, and you come in if you're bleeding. Otherwise,
that's pretty much it.
I don't want to see you until the street lights come on.
Yeah, even then, Mom had to holler out the window every once in a while. Playing.
What a time.
I think I was on the pond across the street playing hockey from, I don't know, 4 o'clock on.
I mean, I know you guys like to tease because I was born in '97, but even still, my childhood was like this too. I was out riding my bike until the streetlights came on.
Thanks for rubbing that in.
Yeah.
Well, you tease me all the time about that.
Tell us more about the good old days, Grandma.
In '97. Man, you just can't win.
You can't. No.
No.
It's Tuesday, February 3rd. They're being remembered as sons, brothers, and friends. Tributes pouring in after 3 junior hockey players in Alberta were killed in a car crash on their way to practice.
We have a wonderful city. We knew that. Safest city in Canada, that was a bit of a surprise, but I think it really is a community effort.
Warman gaining national attention after a major jump in the livability rankings.
We're in finally making money again.
Canola prices on an uptick this week, bringing some much-needed relief to Saskatchewan farmers. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Tuesday.
Every single time I watch that, I think, who's making pancakes on a Tuesday? Who has that kind of time?
I mean, People who are retired, maybe.
Fair.
They can bring us some pancakes. We like pancakes.
I could use a flapjack or two, especially, but be careful out there in that fog.
Yes, thick fog in southern Saskatchewan this morning, particularly the southeast corner. So if you're waking up with us here in the Queen City or from Weyburn, Estevan, take some extra time on your commute. Drive slow.
Wait till you see the sky cam, or not
or
see
don't
the
see
sky
it.
cam. Let's get to news. We begin with devastating news from Alberta, where 3 junior hockey players have been killed in a collision while traveling to practice. Caden Fine, JJ Wright, and Cameron Caruso were killed when their vehicle collided with a gravel truck on Monday morning outside the town of Staveley, just south of Calgary. The driver of the gravel truck, a 40-year-old man from Staveley, received minor injuries in the crash. The memorial with jerseys and hockey sticks of the 17-year-old Caden Fine and 18-year-olds JJ Wright and goaltender Cameron Caruso were set up at the team's arena. Fine is from Birmingham, Alabama, while Wright and Caruso are both from Kamloops area. Canola prices are on an uptick this week, bringing some much-needed relief for Saskatchewan farmers still dealing with the financial impact of Chinese tariffs. It comes as China secures a massive shipload of grain less than 2 weeks after it signed a trade deal with the Canadian government. According to the province, about 600,000 tons of canola is on its way to China. One farmer from the Balcarres area says the recent purchase is bringing a sense of certainty.
We took a beating on canola since harvest. The price had dropped dramatically. Right now, yes, the basis has dropped to a decent amount, and if you're moving to the crusher, you're getting a fairly good price. It still could be higher, but we're in finally making money again.
Man, you just heard from their ads that it's optimistic about canola prices coming for the upcoming growing season. The federal government has denied an application by Saskatchewan and Alberta to reintroduce Strict 9 on an emergency pest control basis this year. 2 provinces made the request to help with the population control of the Richardson ground squirrel, often referred to as a gopher in Saskatchewan. On Monday, the province said Health Canada's Pest Management Regulatory Agency denied the request and are asking for reconsideration as producers deal with a high population right now. Strict 9 was outlawed by the province in 2023 after a 2-year phase-out, followed by a federal ban the following year. We go to Saskatoon, join Jeremy Dodge with an update of a Saskatoon murder trial. Jeremy.
Daryl, thank you. Court heard yesterday from a forensic toxicologist in the second-degree murder trial entering its second week. 23-year-old Catlin Desjardins-Kelly charged with second-degree murder in the death of 48-year-old Arden Panapakisik in February of 2024. Forensic toxicologist testified the victim had methamphetamine, cocaine, THC, and alcohol in his system. The trial continues later today. Saskatoon going to be watching its snow removal contractors a little closer. A motion raised at its last council meetings looking at monitoring the quality of snow clearing efforts from third-party contractors, then use that information to award future contracts. Right now, the city awards snow clearing contracts to the lowest bidders. Randy Donauer discovered the gap when the city published updates after a major snowfall last year, where he saw his area of the city was being cleared more slowly than others.
Everybody should get a similar quality or a similar level of service. And the way I see it, we've done this in other areas of procurement with the city where we don't just always look for lowest price, because sometimes you do get what you pay for. So there's certain things we buy that we specify criteria, not just lowest price.
The motion was given unanimous support, and administration will report back to council with their findings. Well, Daryl, rush hour crash on Regina's Ring Road Monday caused some delays.
Yeah, southbound Ring Road just south of the Dudney overpass. 2 vehicles at least involved, including a white pickup truck that you see on your screen, appeared to slam into a light pole and a car as well. It was reopened around 7 o'clock last night. Police have not yet said if there were any injuries or charges laid. White City Town Council has voted in favor of a townhouse rental development. This one's controversial. It passed Sunday by a vote of 3-2. If built, it will feature rows and stacked rows of duplexes 4-story apartments and more. A public hearing for residents was held January 5th with over 30 residents coming in person to reject the project and another 100 residents giving written submissions. The current proposal doesn't fit the current zoning bylaws and would require amendments before moving forward. Former Prime Minister Stephen Harper back in Ottawa to mark 20 years since his Conservative government took office.
I think the reality is federal government manages this country right, puts the stress on unity and not on ideological tangents, and there's no reason why we can't pull the country together at this moment.
Former Prime Minister Stephen Harper and former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien sat down yesterday for a fireside chat, talked about national unity in the face of U.S. tensions and in the face of rising separatism inside the country. Prime Minister Harper was recognized by the Royal Canadian Geographical Society for his public service. His official portrait will be unveiled today. Canada's Jeremy Hansen will not be heading into space this month after NASA delayed the launch of Artemis 2. Yesterday's critical fuel test stalled with about 5 minutes, 15 seconds left on the clock. NASA made the call to delay the launch this morning after multiple fuel leaks during the test. It is now looking at a possible new launch date. It might be as early as March 6th. It's also possible it may not happen until April. Hansen and the other 3 crew members will be moved out of quarantine. NASA plans to use its extra time to review data and try another fuel test. In Paris, the prosecutor's cybercrime unit says a search is underway at the French offices of Elon Musk's social platform X, formerly known as Twitter. The search is part of a preliminary investigation into a range of alleged offenses, including spreading child pornography and deepfakes. It's looking into whether the platform was compliant in detaining and spreading pornographic images of minors, sexually explicit deepfakes, denials of crimes against humanities, and other offenses. Prosecutors are also seeking voluntary interviews with Elon Musk and X's former CEO, Linda Yarchino. A major mining project in northeastern Saskatchewan has a new owner now. Canada-based Eldorado Gold has acquired Foran Mining for a reported price tag of about $3.8 billion. The company is in the process of developing the Magdalene Bay mine southwest of Creighton, listed as one of the Prime Minister Mark Carney's major projects in the country last fall. Saskatchewan's premier says the deal makes the project even stronger. The deal does need a vote of confidence from foreign shareholders and is subject to regulatory approvals, of course, with other closing conditions too. One Saskatchewan community receiving major recognition despite it being a lowly bedroom community, Warman, is making big gains on the national level. Carla Shinkarek with why.
1927, we already had a plan.
It's a great week at the mayor's office in Warman with the Globe and Mail's ranking of the most livable cities being released.
It's wonderful news. And see us move up 115 spots was incredible, and getting the phone call about, what are some of the things that have been happening. And we have a wonderful city. We knew that.
Warman broke the top 20 spot in that ranking, one of the biggest jumps anywhere in Canada. North Vancouver tops the list as Canada's most livable city. Regina came in 7th, but dropped from last year, as did Saskatoon, which is at 15. Warman, meanwhile, is climbing fast, sitting at 19. The distinction doesn't end there.
The safest city in Canada, that was a bit of a surprise, but I think it really is a community effort.
This local isn't surprised.
I've lived here for 28 years, and honestly, it's been a great community to live in. We brought our kids up here. We've been involved in all the community stuff, sports, and I've worked here for 28 years.
Part of Warman's appeal, he says, is avoiding some of the challenges facing big cities.
Maybe just the city's getting busier these last few years, and so that's pushed people outside of the Saskatoon coming to Warman.
The community doesn't have some of the other challenges around homelessness that larger cities are dealing with, something the mayor says they're keeping an eye on. The list takes into account things like the economy, housing, healthcare, education, amenities, transportation, and climate. The mayor also says with amenities like the recreation complex, schools, and parks, they attract young families. The average age here is 35, but they're also seeing another trend.
Now the grandparents are following. Since their kids are here, they've followed through. So when they've sold farms or moved towards more of an urban place.
So to give you an idea of just how popular this city has become, the population here in 2003 was just 3,500 people. Now the population is 14,700. Carla Shinkarek, CTV News, Warman.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders have released one of their longest-serving players.
Lucky White hit.
in the end zone if Lowther misses. And Brett Lowther doesn't do that. It's a walk-off game winner for Brett Lowther and the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Brett Lowther played 8 seasons with the Riders and endeared himself to fans with moments like this one. Lowther leaves the Riders as the franchise's 3rd highest scoring player, amassing 1,085 points, scoring in more than 100 games played with the Green and White, and a Grey Cup champion as well. His impact extending off the field. He was an important part of the Rough Rider Foundation. He was in schools. He did a lot with the CFLPA as well. Great guy. The Saskatchewan Rough Riders also made another move.
Sutton on the tackle.
Team re-signed A.J. Ouellette. It's a 1-year deal. Thor rushed for over 1,000 yards last season, added another 200 in the playoffs, including a Grey Cup touchdown. He says a big part of the decision was the quarterback.
I don't want to say it was the biggest part. I love Coach Mace. The coaching staff's awesome. The whole locker room's amazing, but just the bond that me and Trevor have developed over the 2 years, and then him signing and just getting pumped that he gets to play another season of football and possibly 3 more. We'll see how he feels after this one. But yeah, it was a big reason.
According to a number of reports, the Riders will lose a slew of players to free agency. That includes D lineman Malik Carney to the Edmonton Elks, linebacker C.J. Rivas and A.J. Allen to the Red Blacks, while receiver Tommy Neild has agreed to terms with the Blue Bombers. The league's communication window, or tampering window, closes February 8th, with free agency officially beginning on the 10th. So, Kayleen, we've lost 2 of our weather people now.
I know.
A.J. Allen was fantastic.
We need some more.
I know. I don't know if maybe fans don't want them to come in here now if they're all going to leave town. Although Trevor Harris did it a few times.
Well, and you know, Trevor was one of the best, too.
Yeah, Trevor's son was one of the best.
Yes. Well, let's turn our attention to our current weather picture here, because we are seeing some visibility issues out on the roads this morning, specifically in southern Saskatchewan, Regina included. We're seeing visibility sitting at about 0.4 kilometers right now, so your commute is going to be a little bit tricky. Also seeing some of that fog this morning, areas around Weyburn, areas around Estevan. So give yourself some extra time out on those roads. Obviously, we're not seeing those visibility issues over in Saskatoon. Just a few clouds to start the day, so not bad. Let's talk about these current temperatures. A lot less pink on the screen this morning, so that's some good news. Stony Rapids waking up to -12, -10 in La Ronge, -12 in South End. Nipawin at -4. Prince Albert, a beautiful morning, also starting at -4. And Spiritwood at -2. So it's not just the south today seeing those beautiful temperatures. Down towards the south, we still are seeing some warmth. Even East and Cypress right now already into those positives. 1 degree. It has been fluctuating a bit, though, this morning. -2 in Swift Current, -4 in Regina right now with that fog, -8 in Saskatoon. Again, also seeing that fog. Estevan currently sitting at -3 and Yorkton at -8. Later on this afternoon, we are seeing some wonderful temperatures. -1 expected for both Saskatoon and Regina. Parts of the southwest reaching into those positive temperatures. Swift Current 2 degrees, Moose Jaw 2 degrees, and Estevan and Weyburn. We're still going to be seeing some of those clouds into the afternoon as we see the fog starting to lift, but again, the clouds are going to remain into the afternoon. Let's take a look at this almanac here to talk about just how normal this is. The average in Regina this time of year is -8.9. In Saskatoon, the average is -10. So thankfully, those temperatures today in the afternoon going to be well above that seasonal average, and also well above where we were last year on this day, February 3rd. In Regina, we reached -25.1 in the afternoon, and in Saskatoon, it was -24.6. So an improvement, to say the least. The record back in the year 1991 in Regina was 6.6 degrees, and back in the year 1954 in Saskatoon, the record was 6.1 degrees. Let's take a look at this 7-day forecast now, because although the temperatures are warm today, it's just going to be getting better for the next couple days. 6 degrees tomorrow for Regina, 8 degrees on Thursday, and then dropping down on Friday to 2 degrees. So although we're seeing a drop off, we're still seeing temperatures into the positives. Saturday and Sunday also seeing some positive temperatures in Regina. Saskatoon, 5 degrees tomorrow, 7 degrees on Thursday, dropping off to 0 degrees on Friday, 1 degree on Saturday, and a few more flurries on the way for Sunday. All right, it's time for a look at our rural forecast. We're seeing some really nice temperatures all throughout Saskatchewan today. It's not just exclusive to the south. -2 for Meadow Lake with that cloud cover, -1 in Spiritwood this afternoon, -3 for Wynyard. Again, seeing some pretty heavy amounts of cloud cover this afternoon. Over in the southwest, still seeing the warmest temperatures. Maple Creek up to about 6 degrees today, 2 degrees for areas around East and Cypress, Rockland, Assiniboia, 4 degrees in Coronach, and Carlisle -1 with that fog continuing into the early afternoon. Let's take a look at Sturgis, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. We're expecting that high of -3 today, some sun and clouds this afternoon, and winds up to 30 kilometers per hour.
Welcome inside the Sports Center newsroom. Jermaine Franklin with your must-see moment from Monday for it. We're heading to Minnesota. The Habs visiting the Wild. Less than a minute to go in the first. Brendan Gallagher skates around Quinn Hughes and then dekes out Philip Gustafsson for an amazing goal. A great move by Gallagher, going to his backhand in tight. Just his 5th of the season. That is your must-see moment from Monday. And Tuesday on TSN, you can see the 2026 NFL Pro Bowl games. Coverage starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
Rome, as you know, very popular tourist destination, and right now they're taking on over-tourism by also making a little bit of cash for the city. So now they're charging visitors a €2 fee to visit the famous Trevi Fountain. It had previously been free to visit. It will charge from 11:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. on weekends. €2 is about $3.23-ish.
What do we think of this?
They got to do something, I suppose. Got to do something.
You do? Yeah.
It's only $3.
I mean, it's not that much.
But it's still $3, you know?
Yeah.
I think charging for anything now, I'm like, no.
So we go there on our honeymoon, and my wife wants to do they'll throw the penny in there. Just one is for good luck. 2 is, I can't remember what 2 and 3 are, but she goes to do the first one, and she was like, get a video. I'm like, yeah, okay, and I double clutched. And so all I got was, did you get it? Was the video, and she was so mad. I saw it the other day. I laughed. She still doesn't think it's funny.
All these years later.
All these years later.
You ruined everything, Daryl.
I did. That was her dream vacation. I guarantee you that was her dream vacation, go to Italy and to all those places. So we want to know from you on this national, what is it, national?
It's National Take a Cruise Day.
Take a Cruise Day, which is a fabulous dream vacation for some.
So we're asking you, what is your dream vacation? A few answers have come in already. Sheldon saying, my dream vacation is to go to Mexico and Las Vegas, Walt Disney, Disneyland, and New York City. So a few on Sheldon's bucket list. Yeah, we had Heidi and Phil from Saskatoon saying Switzerland to see the Alps and the villages. Always love the scenes from YouTube movies and such. Come on, Lotto.
Come on, Lotto. Yeah.
I say that every time I go to the gas station, too. I'm like, come on, Lotto 649.
Are we working tomorrow?
Yeah,
we're working tomorrow.
This is a cool one. Lauren's saying the Dracula Castle in Transylvania. Sister lives in Bucharest, about an hour away, and she hasn't been.
What?
Said the stairs up were too much.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, dear.
And Heather saying, I would love to go to Bora Bora.
Get somebody to carry Lauren up.
Yeah.
Up those stairs. That's what we need. A backpack situation. What is your dream vacation? You can scan that QR code on your screen. You can text that phone number on your screen, and we will be back with your morning mystery in just a couple of seconds.
This morning, a GMA exclusive first look at Consumer Reports' top-rated new car picks for 2026. They put 50 popular cars through more than 50 different tests.
All the mainstream cars that you or I might be shopping for in our daily life.
They include track testing things like acceleration, braking, handling, and off-roading, to user experiences like noise controls and assessing storage capacity to see just how much you can fit into cargo areas.
When it comes to our testing, all of these cars are essentially very well-rounded, if not top of their category for the performance in our tests.
Their top 10 picks ranging from budget options to luxury models.
this list is really focused on making sure that there are vehicles at all different price points for all different types of consumers.
The Honda Civic coming in first in the small sedan category. Consumer Reports recommending all 3 versions of the vehicle and says the hybrid is just a little better for its great driving experience and excellent gas mileage. For a midsize car, their experts give top marks to the Toyota Camry, sold only as a hybrid now, touting its handling and user-friendly controls. And in compact SUVs, it's the Subaru Forester that rises to the top of their list for performance and reliability. And for the first time
this year, every single vehicle is either offered as a hybrid or recommended. The version on the list is a hybrid itself.
Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News, New York.
Time for your morning mystery. We've got our whiteboards out. We've got 3 clues for you. You can play along at home. Clue number 1. The history of this dog breed traces back to Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Considered to be the 4th smartest dog breed behind Border Collies, Poodles, and German Shepherds. So that eliminates 3 breeds. 1997 movie Air Bud features one named Buddy.
No.
Oh, big. You say that as if you're a big Air Bud fan. Are you a big?
No, I just know it. I used to see it at the video store all the time. We used to laugh at it. I've never actually...
Remember those?
But...
You better get this one, Daryl.
I do.
Because if I'm right, you have one.
I even wrote Hi Disco.
Yeah.
Golden Retriever. It's got to be the Golden Retriever. You did say this morning it was National Golden Retriever Day, so I had that in the back of my mind. Be sure to give yours a treat if you have one today. Give them 2. That's today's morning mystery.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. And speaking of keeping those school zones safe, drive slowly in those school zones today, especially if you're waking up in the southeast corner of the province where we're seeing that heavy cloud cover this morning. -5 with that fog in Regina right now, -8 in Saskatoon, -2 by lunch in Regina. The sun should be coming out just a little bit by then, winds going up to 30 kilometers per hour. By lunch in Saskatoon, -3, mix of sun and cloud. And by final bell, both cities sitting at that expected daytime high of -1. Saskatoon, though, seeing just a little bit more sunshine. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices. In Regina, the common price this morning, $119.9. The lowest you might find, though, is $102.9. In Saskatoon, the common price, $117.9. And the lowest you might find is $109.9. Over to the farm markets now, where we find the street price of canola at $596.53 per ton and the futures price at $645 even. Over to amber durum wheat, where it's sitting at $278.59 per ton, and red spring wheat at $254.15 per ton. And the Canadian dollar trending down this morning. It's now at 73.12 cents US. After the break, if you're sitting on some old checks, why you might want to cash them in. Stay with us for the details.
Sansayani, welcome to your morning. It is 7:30. More than a dozen Sask Energy employees were now suspended indefinitely over allegations of fuel theft. Swain Mantika tells us the Crown continues to investigate to determine exactly how much was taken.
Sask Energy is alleging fuel theft from its construction department, but it did not say from which locations or the total amount that may be involved. That remains under investigation. The Crown Corporation has suspended 13 employees indefinitely. It has hired an independent investigator and has notified police. Sask Energy alleges that the losses took place between February of 2024 and the summer of 2025. If losses are confirmed, Sask Energy intends to recover the full amount. Sask Power has also provided an update about unauthorized charges to fuel and procurement charges, which were previously reported. It found that an employee improperly charged $7,173 to a corporate fuel card. 2 other employees improperly charged $3,184 and $1,114 to procurement cards. Nearly all the money has been paid back. 1 employee has been dismissed. Nothing has been said about the employment status of the other 2. In a written statement, Sask Power said several measures have been taken to prevent procurement and fuel card misuse, including communication to staff about policies, closer procurement tracking by management, and annual sample audits of employee procurement card charges. Sask Energy's investigation is ongoing. It says any corrective measures recommended at the completion of the investigation will be implemented. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatoon police are now investigating 3 serious assaults they believe may be connected. The first happened Saturday afternoon on the 700 block of Weldon Avenue. SPS says they were told several people forced their way into a home and assaulted a 37-year-old man. Police were then told about another person injured nearby, a 35-year-old man found badly injured. Then a short time after that, a 45-year-old man went into St. Paul's Hospital in Saskatoon to be treated for his injuries. Police now working to find who was responsible. Bill and Hillary Clinton have agreed to testify in the House Jeffrey Epstein investigation.
We've been pushing for them. We've said we want them to testify, and now we'll get the testimony.
It is not clear yet when, where, and how the Clintons will testify, but the deal was enough to put off a vote scheduled in the House today to hold the Clintons in contempt. Bill Clinton had ties to Jeffrey Epstein, but he denies any knowledge of his sexual offenses. He also says he cut off contact with Epstein 2 decades ago. Bill and Hillary Clinton had refused to appear before the committee leading the investigation, saying they had already given sworn statements. MPs in the House of Commons have voted unanimously to fast-track the Liberals' GST relief bill.
See it back in the House on Wednesday so we can provide real relief expeditiously for families. Now, if you work here, you know that that's lightning speed.
It was the Conservatives who put forward the motion to fast-track the bill. It is aimed at putting more money in the pockets of Canadians to help with grocery bills. The Parliamentary Budget Office estimates the cost will come out to more than $12 billion over the 6-year period. The bill is expected to pass in the House tomorrow before heading to the Senate. Atlantic Canada cleaning up after its 3rd winter storm in 3 weeks.
It's crazy. I don't know where to put it. We get so much snow. It's like it's hard to shovel it, and it's hard on the back, hard on the knees.
Boy, oh boy, I bet it is. Much of the region avoided the worst of the nor'easter, except for Cape Breton. They got hammered. Crews were working around the clock to clear roads. The storm, meanwhile, resulted in a pause for sailings at the Newfoundland Ferry. Officials hope to have the backlog cleared by today. Canadians are sitting on $2 billion worth of uncashed government checks, it turns out. Data shows roughly 3.9 million paper checks were issued to Canadians over the past 4 fiscal years, and they haven't been cashed yet. The checks were for various tax refunds, pension checks, and other CRA benefits. For example, roughly $42.8 million in checks issued to families through their child benefit went uncollected, and Canadians failed to deposit more than $140 million in carbon rebate checks. The administrative cost to issue a check for the government is about $1.83, meaning that's $121 million in checks from April 2022 to September 2025. Likely cost you, the taxpayer, about $222 million, give or take. The University of Saskatchewan, they have a student using TikTok to help people tackle social anxiety.
You got to remember that most of the time, everyone around you has got a million things to worry about, and you simply are not one of them.
4th-year business student Auckland Nicolaou is using TikTok to encourage people to face social anxiety and says the process has helped him face his own. He says he was once nervous to film in public, but over time he learned to push through that fear.
I think there's a lot of people that struggle with it, and we're kind of in this post-COVID world where not many people are used to having open conversations.
He says social anxiety may never fully go away, but it can become much easier to manage with some small steps over time. A Regina retirement home proving age is just a number, competing in the 17th annual All Senior Games. This is over at the College Park One Retirement Community, holding opening ceremonies yesterday. 150 residents participating in fun and festive events like bocce, shuffleboard, and bingo. Kayleen, these are some games that are our speed, especially before nap time.
Yeah, you know what? I actually had the chance to attend these a few years back, and they are so much fun, and the residents have so much fun. I just love seeing it.
And it's good to stay inside and do stuff like that if you're in the Regina area, because look behind you.
Well, the fog, yes, impacting our morning. The temperatures, though, really nice, so you got to take the good with the bad sometimes. Believe it or not, we are starting to see a little bit of an improvement. Before, visibility was around 0.4 kilometers. Now it's about 0.6, so we're right around that same visibility as Estevan right now. You can start to see some lights through the blur. As I said, though, temperature is not so bad with that fog this morning. We're at -5 right now, winds coming in at 9 kilometers per hour. And in Saskatoon, obviously not seeing those visibility issues this morning, just a few clouds in the area to wake us up, and winds coming in at 17 kilometers per hour. Let's talk about those winds and how they are going to be increasing throughout the afternoon today, mainly around the Parkland region. Yorkton, you're going to be seeing those gusts just about up to 40 kilometers per hour. Estevan also going to be seeing some increased winds. Regina, we're going to be seeing them increased just up to about 35 kilometers per hour. Other areas, we're not too worried about those winds today, but they are going to be increasing for the next couple days as the temperatures go up as well. Let's talk about the futurecast here. If you blinked, you missed it, but we did see a few little blips on the radar there this afternoon in areas between Saskatoon and Regina with just a few flurries this afternoon. It's going to be just the lightest little dusting, no significant accumulations of snow. The clouds are going to be increasing as we make our way into those overnight hours, and we see a system coming in from northern Alberta, going to be bringing some snow, some freezing rain, and just some rain to areas north of Prince Albert there. So be prepared for that if you're waking up with us from the north part of the province. Other than that, we're not seeing a whole lot in terms of the snow for the next few days in central or southern Saskatchewan. Today's forecast, though, we are seeing some very nice temperatures, 2 degrees in Swift Current and Moose Jaw this afternoon. Mainly cloudy, but a few pockets of that sunshine. Weyburn, a lot of clouds this afternoon, 1 degree. Estevan, seeing that fog continuing on into the early parts of the afternoon, and then later on in the afternoon, still seeing some cloud cover. 0 degrees, -2 for Yorkton, and that's a significant improvement from what we have been seeing in the past few days. -2 also expected for Prince Albert, -1 for Saskatoon and Regina, and -2 for the Battlefords. Let's talk about this 5-day forecast because temperatures are going to be getting even better for the next couple days. 6 degrees tomorrow for Regina, up to 8 degrees on Thursday, if you can believe it. So things are going to be getting very slushy with a lot of that snow out there melting. 2 degrees on Friday and then 3 degrees on Saturday. In Saskatoon, 5 degrees tomorrow, 7 degrees on Thursday. Still continuing to see a mix of sun and cloud for the next few days, dropping down to 0 degrees on Friday and then back up to 1 degree on Saturday. It's Tuesday, which means it's time for our weekly check-in with the Regina Humane Society. Bill Thorne joining us, of course, for that. Bill, I'm told you have a very entertaining cat with you today. Introduce us to them.
Yeah, this guy's a piece of work, I tell you. His name is Valkyrie. He's about 4 years old, came in as a stray, and very affectionate. As you can see, he doesn't know me all that well, but he's snuggling right up here. It's clear that he's missing having humans in his life, so hopefully having him on today will help fix that. His adoption is also fully sponsored, so there's no adoption fee for the adopter, just the City Regina license fee if you live in town. But also, real fun. He's been exploring this little room we're in, and even chasing his tail. I've heard of that, but I've never seen a cat do it. He was spinning 90 million miles an hour trying to catch that thing. Didn't get it, but I'm sure he'll be on a mission later on to have a second go at it for sure.
I like that his tail is going there. Usually we see that with dogs, but Valkyrie just says, hey, I'm a happy little guy. I'm ready to find my family.
He seems like it. He seems like a very pleasant guy. He likes affection. He's been exploring the room. Very curious as I've noticed as well, but I think this guy will make a lovely pet.
Well, adding Valkyrie to your home would be one way to add some love this Valentine's Day season. There's also another way with the Regina Humane Society to send some e-cards. How do we do that?
Yeah, sometimes these bigger guys don't like to hang around all that long. They want to go exploring. Yeah, we do have our Valentine's e-cards, also available for just about any occasion, birthdays, anniversaries, graduation, and so on. So if you're a little stuck on what to get your Valentine this year, you can get one of those through our website. You can personalize it, send them to them through email or the internet, I'd rather, and it makes a great gift. And any funds raised through that will help animals like Valkyrie here and all his friends to find those new forever homes, get the medical care they need, and so on. So a great way, if you're a little bit stuck, to have a look at that. Just go on our website and go on how to help, and it'll be on the left-hand side. You can see e-cards there and see all the different ones that you could do.
All right, and a time-honored tradition coming up for the Regina Humane Society, of course, that telethon coming up in March. Talk to us about what's going to be happening and the impact that has had for the Regina Humane Society.
Yeah, it's one of our biggest fundraisers of the year, but even in addition to that, it's also an opportunity for people to see what they have helped create and help make happen over the past year. We'll have stories of animals that were in our care and have found their forever home, some insights into the programs and services. And we have some new ones this year, too, that have not been on the telethon before. So that's something that we're really excited about. So we do encourage you to tune in March 22nd. It's a Sunday from 6 to 9 p.m. on Access Now TV and the YouTube channel. And I believe we will have someone from CTV there as well helping us out. So a great show all around. We do hope people will tune in.
All right, Bill Thorne once again joining us from the Regina Humane Society. Thank you so much, and we wish Valkyrie the best of luck in finding his forever home. Of course, if you want to learn more about the Regina Humane Society, you can head on over to their website.
Regina Crime Stoppers is asking for your help to catch a notorious shoplifter. Evangeline Panes is wanted for 12 counts of shoplifting in January alone and has been active all over the city, victimizing several retail stores. If you know where she is, contact Crime Stoppers.
I'm Constable Dana Adams with the Regina Police Service. Did you know that Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash reward for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina? Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
Here's what's happening in our community. The Mardi Gras Roast Beef Supper is on February 6th at 6 p.m. It's being held at Our Lady of Peace Church on the 400 block of Broad Street North. And for more information, you can call 306-543-0421. The Weyburn Old Time Dance is on February 6th at 7:30 p.m. It's being held at Cecilia's Banquet Hall in Weyburn, and for more information, you can call 306-861-9929. And the Trigeminal Neuralgia Support Group is on February 7th at 10 a.m. It's being held on the 2200 block of Park Street. For more information, you can call 306-751-0761. If you'd like your event shown here, you can email us at reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca with at least 2 weeks' notice.
It's February 3rd, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Luke. He's turning 10 years old today. Welcome to Double Digits with lots of love from your mom, dad, and Hannah. And we got this picture to say happy 23rd birthday to McKenna. Lots of love coming your way from your mom, dad, and Nevaeh. Enjoy your day.
Stones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least 1 day in advance.
Saskatchewan's cold temperatures and slippery driving conditions are doing more than just slowing down your commute. They are decreasing the nation's blood supply. Janelle Lippi is on location at Canadian Blood Services this morning to learn more. Good morning, Janelle.
Good morning. I am back down at the Canadian Blood Service Clinic right here in Regina, and Aaron Barlow is back with me. Now, Aaron, we are in the donation room. Let's talk a little bit about what donating looks like.
Well, donating is quite simple. It only takes a couple of minutes. In fact, it might take you more time just to book that appointment. There's a couple of things I would ask your audience to look for. There's a whole bunch of information on blood.ca about donating blood and other programs, how to prep for your donation. Some words that I can offer right now is make sure that you're drinking plenty of fluids and that you have had a good breakfast or lunch or supper, respective of what time you're coming into the donor center. A couple minutes of your day can have a lasting impact on somebody who needs blood and blood products. So again, a couple minutes of your day can save a life.
All right, and with seasonal illness going on and those winter driving conditions, you guys have seen a decrease in blood donations. What blood type are you most in need of?
So all blood types are needed, but if you happen to have the O blood type, there's a good chance that you share that blood type with somebody else in your family. O negative donors specifically are what are called universal donors, so their blood is transfused into emergency situations when and where needed. Again, all blood types are needed. Thanks to the generosity of donors, hospitals are able to deliver blood and life-saving products now, but that could be impacted by future cancellations, people not attending their appointments being unfilled, and of course further weather impact.
Absolutely, Aaron. Thank you so much for this. Once again, there are clinics in Saskatoon and in Regina. Giving some blood could save a life. So if you're well, you are able to make it out to a clinic in these conditions, come on down and give some blood.
Oh, hi, Brandon. What are you doing? Where'd you go? Oh, there you are.
Take it. We're playing ticket tag, my man. How we're doing it is, well, first of all, it's for Hardy tickets. Good old country boy. Underrated singer-songwriter in my book, but that's just me. We want to send you to the SaskTel Center in Saskatoon next Thursday. We've got more tickets to give away. All you got to do is just know who won the previous hour. So at 7:30, our winner was, is it Aaron Matthews? Okay, remember that name, because at 8:30, I'm going to ask you to say that name to us, and then you win tickets to Hardy, and you become it, and then we go on to 9:30 and beyond. So hopefully you can become it with our Ticket Tag Tuesday and win Hardy tickets. The only time boy, do I talk a lot with my hands.
Only time
Sorry about that.
I'm used to it. My wife's French. It is fine. It's just a lot of this every time, all the time. That's the only time you want to be it. That's great. So visit purecountry927.com and get in on the action. High five. Where are you? There you go. Other way.
Oh, other way?
There it is. That was horrible. This is horrible television.
I believe music can change the world.
The first official trailer is now out for Michael, the hotly anticipated biopic of Michael Jackson. Stepping into the role of the King of Pop is Jafar Jackson, the late Michael Jackson's nephew. Coleman Domingo, Nia Long, and Miles Teller also star. Look for Michael to hit theaters on April 24th.
There isn't enough exposure in the world to prepare a woman to be your wife.
Speaking of trailers, we also have our first look at Ryan Murphy's next project. American Love Story. John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette will follow the romance of that couple before their shocking deaths in a plane crash in 1999. Love Story premieres on Hulu on February 12th with 3 episodes. Country star Ella Langley is fresh off announcing her second album, Dandelion. And now she says she's going on tour. The fun kicks off May 17th in Toledo, Ohio. Caitlin Butts, Gabriella Rose, and Lacey K. Booth are all slated to be openers. And happy birthday to Nathan Lane, star of The Birdcage and The Producers. Lane is turning 70 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, in our sidebar, we're looking at some firefighters having fun in the fire hall.
A bushy, bushy blonde hairdo, surfing USA.
Surf's up. Who needs waves when you have willing co-workers, one by one, rolling over to the next person on the board right until the very end? Now, that's teamwork. Can we try this?
Yeah. You know we should.
Let's do it.
We should absolutely
do you have
this.
enough bodies?
I mean, I think so.
That's a good question. Do we have enough?
If we make everybody from the control room upstairs come with us, then we can do it. And everyone in the control room is probably shaking their heads right now, like, no.
It's funny. I watched that story that was filed on the influencer who laid down at the U of S there, and just people walked around him, and I was thinking, that's just our show. Like, the newsroom reporter's just like, okay. Just keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they walk past the morning live.
All right.
We're usually playing Uno.
Oh, let's go back to the 90s.
Okay, we're pretending it's the 90s, okay? You're living outside now. You don't come in.
Tonight we're gonna come in.
No, I mean...
We made it to February 3rd, Jeremy, before somebody said morning live, and it wasn't me.
And, you know, we've been talking for months about how none of us have said morning live. Yeah. We've been good about saying your morning, and I just...
Days without incident just went down to 0.
And it's been months.
I
gotta go.
I didn't even notice.
I didn't notice either until we cut to the clip, and Daryl said, you said morning live.
Wasn't me. Oh, we're back after this with more Your Morning, Saskatchewan. Welcome to Tuesday, February 3rd.
See it back in the House on Wednesday so we can provide real relief expeditiously for families. Now, if you work here, you know that that's lightning speed.
MPs in the House of Commons have voted unanimously to fast-track the Liberals' GST relief bill.
Everybody should get a similar quality or a similar level of service.
Saskatoon is going to be watching its snow removal contractors a little closer.
The bond that me and Trevor have developed over the 2 years, and then him signing and just getting pumped that he gets to play another season of football, it was a big reason.
The Riders are bringing back the cornerstone of their championship run game. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Tuesday.
Fog gone away? When you put that side by side up, it's like a tale of two cities.
Yes, the fog, thankfully, is starting to lift. We still have some areas down in the southeast corner of the province where it is a little bit denser, but improvements are being made.
You had a chance to watch the Grammy recap, so do you want to share your thoughts?
Sabrina Carpenter is amazing. That's it. Sabrina Carpenter is a queen.
Save yourself 3 hours and 22 minutes. That was it. Let's get to your news for this part of the hour. And it starts with heartbreak in Alberta and across the hockey community as the country remembers 3 junior hockey players killed in a car crash. 18-year-old Cameron Caruso, 18-year-old JJ Wright, and 17-year-old Keaton Fine were heading to practice when their car collided with a gravel truck. They played for the Southern Alberta Mustangs. The team has issued a statement that reads in part, quote, "These young men were more than hockey players. They were teammates, sons, brothers, friends, and deeply loved members of our Mustangs family and the community we call home." As China secures a massive shipment of Canadian-grown canola, Saskatchewan farmers breathing a little sigh of relief after years of uncertainty. While most producers aren't totally comfortable in the market yet, it is an upward sign of progress. Here's Sierra D'Souza Butts.
John Kodalak, who has been seeding canola on his family farm in Balcarres for decades, says there are always challenges to overcome when it comes to growing a high-yield crop. But Chinese tariffs were a source of major stress, especially combined with rising costs elsewhere.
When it's that kind of uncertainty, it does put stress on, and you're trying to figure out how to pay the bills and get everything done. And, you know, the price of fertilizer, chemical has all continued to increase.
Now, less than 2 weeks after an agreement between the Chinese and Canadian governments, the tariffs are down to the point producers like Kodalak have a bit of breathing room.
From what I've seen, the basis is almost dropped in half. And once you get to that level, it's in the area of making money again.
We're seeing, I think, about 600,000 tons that are on their way to China. So that is exactly what we needed for to retain some profitability in this year's crop year, but also to provide some certainty for our seeding intentions in next year.
A professor of agriculture and resource economics from the UFS says the reason for the purchase was based on China running out of canola supply from other markets since imposing the tariff on Canadian agricultural products in March 2025.
Their only other really viable option was Australia, and they'd put a ban on importing canola from Australia due to blackleg in Australia. So they had to lift that ban, but I think they were running out, their domestic supplies were dwindling, and they were obviously putting some pressure on the Chinese government to come up with an agreement with Canada.
Although canola is taking a positive turn in the market right now, Kodalak says there's more work that needs to be done to keep it that way.
Should get guys a little more happy to grow canola next summer. We could get hit again with tariffs. You never know, but it's part of the life of farming nowadays.
Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
The federal government has denied an application by Saskatchewan and Alberta to reintroduce strychnine on an emergency pest control basis this year. The two provinces made the request to help with population control of Richardson ground squirrel, aka gophers, in Saskatchewan. On Monday, the province said Health Canada's Pest Management Regulatory Agency denied that request and are now asking for reconsideration as producers deal with high populations. Strychnine was outlawed by the province in 2023 after a 2-year phase-out, followed by a federal ban the following year. Let's turn things over to Jeremy Dodge in Saskatoon with an update on a high-profile murder trial. Jeremy.
Daryl, court heard yesterday from a forensic toxicologist as this second-degree murder trial enters its second week. 23-year-old Catlin Desjardins Kelly charged with second-degree murder in the death of 48-year-old Arden Panapakisik in February of 2024. A forensic toxicologist testified the victim had methamphetamine, cocaine, THC, and alcohol in his system. The trial continues later today. Saskatoon is going to be watching its snow removal contractors a little closer. A motion raised at its last council meetings looking at monitoring the quality of snow clearing efforts from third-party contractors and then use that information to award future contracts. Right now, the city awards snow clearing contracts to the lowest bidders. Randy Donauer discovered the gap when the city published updates after a major snowfall last year where he saw his area of the city was being cleared more slowly than others.
Everybody should get a similar quality or a similar level of service. And the way I see it, we've done this in other areas of procurement with the city where we don't just always look for lowest price, because sometimes you do get what you pay for. So there's certain things we buy that we specify criteria, not just lowest price.
The motion was given unanimous support, and administration will report back to council with their findings. Daryl, a rush hour crash on Ring Road Monday caused some major delays in the Queen City.
It happened on southbound Ring Road, just about the Dudney Avenue overpass. At least 2 vehicles involved, including a white pickup truck that appeared to slam into a light pole and a car. It was reopened by 7 o'clock last night. There was an area of time around 2 o'clock in the afternoon where there was another collision, also tied up traffic. Police have not said if there were any injuries or charges in either. The killing of 37-year-old Alex Preddy by Border Patrol agents late last month has been ruled a homicide, according to the medical examiner. The ICU nurse was fatally shot while protesting ICE agents' deployment in Minneapolis, Minnesota, part of Donald Trump's crackdown on immigration enforcement in the state. The medical examiner's report says Preddy's killing was a homicide caused by multiple gunshot wounds, and the fatal wounds occurred after he was shot. The suicide ruling does not mean it was murder, but it typically triggers an investigation into the death and whether the killing was justified. The Justice Department is also conducting a civil rights investigation into his killing. Meanwhile, Defense Secretary Kristi Noem says body cameras will now be deployed to every officer in the field in Minneapolis, effective immediately, with the goal of expanding agents nationwide. Mysterious lights have been spotted hovering in southern Manitoba, and now a group of residents has banded together to figure out exactly what's happening. Here's Danton Unger.
You can always see them in the distance over here.
Monique Kirchie has noticed something strange going on in the skies of southern Manitoba.
Like they fly all over the town.
Over the past few weeks, Kirchie says she and her neighbors have seen large drones like this hovering around Kleefeld just west of Steinbach.
It's only at nighttime that they're hearing and seeing these things, and so it raised a lot of concern, the fact that there's so many and it's so many frequent sightings. Nobody knows anything.
She's reported it to the municipality and the RCMP, but so far, no answers as to what's behind the sudden uptick in drone activity. Steinbach RCMP did confirm they've received one report of drones flying over the city as well as in the Le Broquerie area, hovering near houses and waking people up. RCMP say at this point, no other reports have been received. Corporal Ryan Cadot says it can be difficult to track down the operators of drones.
It's tricky because a lot of these drones have considerable range, and unless you can find the pilot, there's not a whole lot we can really do about it, unfortunately.
Still, if a drone is flying on private property or getting a little too close for comfort, Cadot does encourage residents to report it to RCMP. As for Kirchie, this is a mystery she wants to solve. That's why she's created the Community Drone Watch.
Drone chasers, unite. I was kidding, but at the same time kind of serious because people had been posting about noticing all these drones flying around for the last few weeks.
While not taking herself too seriously, she does hope this will lead to some answers, like who's flying these drones around her area and why.
So far, nobody knows what these things are. They're just these big, large drones that have been flying around.
Danton Unger, CTV News, Steinbach.
Now to the countdown to the Super Bowl. Festivities getting underway with player meetings, fans, and the media last night. Laura Spencer reports.
Let's take a look at how the Seahawks and Patriots got here.
Overnight, Super Bowl 60 festivities kicking off. Excitement building as the New England Patriots
and it is picked off, intercepted.
Face off against the Seattle Seahawks.
I envisioned this, for a very, very long time. It's my favorite part.
Hey. 23-year-old quarterback Drake May knows what's at stake.
Knowing how much of opportunity we have this week and getting a chance to, be a chance to go win the Super Bowl, that sounds pretty good.
And for Sam Darnold, there is a lot to prove. Seattle being his 5th team in 8 seasons in the NFL.
Being true to myself and again, relying on my teammates.
New England looking not only for their 7th Super Bowl win, but also to make history with their head coach Mike Vrabel becoming the first person to ever win a Super Bowl with the same team as both a player and head coach.
It's certainly a unique feeling. I've always told our players, play as long as you can, and then you have to get a real job.
Lucky White hit in the end zone if Lowther misses. And Brett Lowther doesn't do that. It's a walk-off game winner for Brett Lowther and the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Closer to home, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have released kicker Brett Lowther. He leaves the team after 8 seasons, amassing over 1,000 points, and it was a key piece of the community's outreach as well.
Running right through is Ouellette. What a breakup he's having. A.J. Ouellette. Wesley Sutton on the tackle.
The Riders are bringing back Thor. A.J. Ouellette signed a 1-year deal yesterday. He's coming off a 1,000-yard rushing season and says Trevor Harris's decision to come back heavily influenced him. My decision to come back every Monday heavily weighted on whether Kayleen's going to be here.
I know that one. But hey, we're nothing without each other on this team on Your Morning Saskatchewan.
Nothing.
I know the name of the show. Of
course.
Let's talk about the conditions outside because we are seeing some massive improvements when it comes to that fog outside in Regina. We can actually see outside in Regina now this hour. It's funny how fast that fog can actually lift, and it's not just Regina where we're seeing those improvements this morning. We're also seeing it in other areas in the southeast corner, Weyburn and Estevan, starting to see that fog lift as well. Saskatoon, we haven't been seeing many issues out there this morning. Just a beautiful start to the day in terms of low winds, nice temperatures. Seeing some pretty nice temperatures really all across the province, even up north. -12 in Stony Rapids, -10 in La Ronge, -5 right now in Prince Albert, -9 in Hudson Bay, and waking up to -2 in Spiritwood. Down towards the south, we're at -7 in Saskatoon right now, -6 in Regina, and -4 in Moose Jaw, Assiniboia, and Weyburn. So not a bad start to the day. It's really going to be a great afternoon as well. Still seeing some temperatures into those negatives, but there are a lot of places down in the southwest corner reaching into those positives. Today, Swift Current, actually the number just went up We were projecting 2 degrees originally. Now we are saying 3 degrees. So a nice afternoon there. 2 degrees for Moose Jaw, mix of sun and cloud. Some more clouds over in that southeast corner this afternoon. 1 degree for Weyburn and 0 degrees for Estevan. Winds also going to be going up mainly towards the southeast. So Yorkton, wind gusts up to about 40 kilometers per hour. Similar conditions through Estevan and areas between Estevan and the Parkland region there. Regina rather could be seeing them up to about 35 kilometers per hour. Everywhere else, we're not really worried about the winds today, but they could be going up in the coming days. So we'll keep an eye on those conditions for you. Futurecast showing again some pockets of sunshine in areas around Prince Albert, Saskatoon there into the afternoon. Not really talking about a lot of precipitation in central or southern Saskatchewan today. Potentially a light dusting between Saskatoon and Regina, but nothing to be too concerned about. What we are talking about is a large system coming in from northern Alberta, impacting northern Saskatchewan into the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning as well. So if you're waking up with us from the north, some snow on the way. Everywhere else, nothing to be too concerned about. Also, talking about temperatures going up for the next couple days. In Regina, we can expect a temperature of about 6 degrees tomorrow and 8 degrees on Thursday. So things are about to get slushy out there with that mix of sun and cloud. Again, though, winds could be going up for the next couple days. 2 degrees on Friday and 3 degrees on Saturday with a mix of sun and cloud. In Saskatoon, 5 degrees tomorrow, 7 degrees on Thursday, falling to about 0 degrees on Friday, 1 degree on Saturday, and pretty similar conditions to carry us into Sunday as well.
This day in history, February 3rd, 1916, a fire broke out in Centre Block of Canada's Parliament building, spreading to engulf the whole building and killing 7 people. February 3rd, 2007, Akina Shirt sang O Canada in Cree at a Flames game in Calgary, the first time the anthem was sung in an Indigenous language at any major sporting event. And February 3rd, of course, this is the day the music died. Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper killed in that plane crash near Clear Lake, Iowa.
In case you missed it, an ancient portrait of a mummy is about to be sold for big bucks. It's a painting from Roman Egypt, expected to go for at least $350,000 US. It's one of the Fayum mummy portraits created between the 1st and 3rd centuries. Portraits were painted with beeswax and pigment on wood and placed on mummified bodies. Experts say it predates European Renaissance realism by more than 1,000 years. Wow, look how good that is for how old it is.
And, you know, going for some pocket change, $300,000.
Then it'll come to life and Brendan Fraser will come and save the day.
Yeah, you're telling me this isn't haunted.
Yeah.
You're telling me.
Those eyes are staring deep into someone's soul. Question of the day is where we're going to next. What is your dream vacation is what we've asked you at home. Here are some of your responses that have come in through our text line or email.
Yeah, Donna saying a Canadian East Coast cruise. That's also on my list, Donna. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Insert my rant about domestic travel. How expensive it is.
Janine saying, I am taking a dream vacation this spring. Sailboat around the Tahiti Islands. Can't wait. That would be a dream vacation. Wow.
Take us with you.
Yes, please. Yeah, I'm sure I can get the time off, right, Daryl?
Of course.
Yeah. Lori saying, my dream vacation would be Ireland. My dad's family is Irish. I would also love to go to Ireland, too. It just seems green and friendly and fun.
Travis wants to go relive Kevin McAllister's steps in Home Alone 2.
That's actually when I think it would be too crowded, New York at Christmas.
See the Rockefeller tree? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It's the experience,
I'd like
though.
to check it out.
Sheldon also said New York City, but he added to that saying Walt Disney, Disneyland, also wanting to go to Mexico, Las Vegas. And we had Heidi and Phil from Saskatoon saying Switzerland. Would love to go see the Alps and the villages.
Needs some financial help, though, so he's calling on Lotto 649 to come through.
I think we all are, right? For those dream vacations. Come on, Lotto 649.
If I'm not here on Monday.
Yeah. We had Lauren saying Dracula Castle, Transylvania. But again, those stairs sometimes can be a bit much.
Wait, I took Monday off because of the Super Bowl. So if I'm not here on Tuesday, then you know I won the Lotto.
And Heather saying Bora Bora. Somewhere else I would go if I won that Lotto 649.
Time Out Health News is on the other side of this short break.
A University of Saskatchewan student is using TikTok to help people tackle social anxiety. And as Stacey Hine tells us, his message is reaching far beyond campus.
Sure, people might look at you and judge for like 2 seconds, but for the most part, they've got a million other things that they got to worry about on a day-to-day basis, and you simply are not one of them.
It's a reminder from Auckland Nicolaou. Don't let fear of judgment hold you back. The fourth-year business student uses TikTok to share that message and encourage people to face social anxiety.
So do what you want to do.
After a year of consistent posting, he says creating the videos has helped him face his own fears.
The first time I ever filmed in public, heart rate was up, sweating, nervous, scared, all those things. But at the end of the day, I think making content has allowed me to push myself in unique ways.
One of those unique ways, lying on the ground in a public place as dozens of people walk by. Nicolaou says he got the idea from a book called The 4-Hour Workweek.
When I first read it, I also thought it was crazy. But with enough practice and enough effort, you adjust to these environments.
One of his videos has since garnered 22.5 million views, with people from around the world reaching out for advice on managing social anxiety.
All of the feedback has been pretty well positive, which has been very nice to see a lot of people struggling with those same things.
Nicolaou says taking drama classes has also helped him step out of his comfort zone. His former drama professor says he's seen that growth firsthand and calls the videos an unexpected but effective use of social media.
I'm deeply suspicious of social media. I think it's actually contributing to a lot of the social anxiety that people experience. So it's nice to see it used to help challenge that. And I think that's a very clever aspect of what is happening here.
Nicolaou says social anxiety may never fully go away, but he believes it can be easier to manage over time.
It's consistent baby steps along the way that matter.
Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
After nearly 60 years of caring for animals in Moose Jaw, the Humane Society is now planning for its biggest change yet as they kick off a campaign to secure a new shelter. Dana Hawkes is here to tell us about this quest for a new facility. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thanks for having me.
So the Moose Jaw Humane Society has been in this building for about 40 years now. What are some of the biggest challenges you're facing right now in this space?
Industry standard for the care of pets in a shelter was very different 40 years ago. So what was suitable for 2 cats is now a space that we've had to make room for only 1 cat. So it's kind of reduced our capacity, and we are at the limit of what we can add on to or tweak as far as that care goes here. So we need just to have a little bit bigger, brighter spaces for the pets. The cat kennels need to have more natural daylight coming in. The dog runs need to be bigger, and they're also going to have guillotine doors, which will make it much easier for us to put the dogs out to go to the bathroom. So right now they have to go out, taken out of their kennel and walked out to our outdoor runs, and not all of the dogs get along. So you have to be careful who's walking by which dog and make sure that they don't have an opportunity to get into a fight. And that's dangerous for the dogs and dangerous for the staff.
So the space is going to be improved. Let's talk about more of those goals, though. How will this new shelter improve day-to-day care for the animals?
Again, it's going to give them more space so that they're not so stressed. There's going to be better insulation in the walls so the cats won't be able to hear the dogs barking. The adoptable dog area is going to be divided into 3 separate sections. So not all of the dogs will be able to hear each other bark at one time. Just maybe 5 dogs will share a space. Another 5 dog kennels will be in another space, and they'll only be able to hear themselves bark, which will reduce the noise for the dogs and for the staff.
And this project isn't just about a new building. What does it mean for the community and for people looking to adopt, volunteer, or even just support your work?
Moose Jaw is a huge pet-loving community, and the surrounding areas also really love their pets. So we're very blessed to live in a community that values pets. As well, they're going to be able to We'll be able to expand our dog walking program. There'll be more room for people to come in and cuddle the cats. We're going to be able to have a multi-purpose room. So on days like today, where it feels like minus 24 outside, then that multi-purpose room, you'll be able to play fetch with the dogs, work on a lot of the training, just to make them more adoptable and to show their true personalities to their potential adopter right away.
For those watching right now who may want to help, what's the best way to donate or get involved in making this new shelter a reality?
You can go to our website. If you click the donate tab on our website, it will take you to Canada Helps. So please include in the message that you would like your donation to go to the Capital Campaign, or you can go to the South Saskatchewan Community Foundation. That link is available on our website as well. And that is a fund that is dedicated solely to our Capital Campaign.
A wonderful goal. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Dana, and good luck.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you having us on.
Hello and welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. Time for your 8:30 news, which begins with more than a dozen Sask Energy employees now suspended indefinitely over allegations of fuel theft. Wayne Mantika reports.
Sask Energy is alleging fuel theft from its construction department, but it did not say from which locations or the total amount that may be involved. That remains under investigation. The Crown Corporation has suspended 13 employees indefinitely. It has hired an independent investigator and has notified police. Sask Energy alleges that the losses took place between February of 2024 and the summer of 2025. If losses are confirmed, Sask Energy intends to recover the full amount. Sask Power has also provided an update about unauthorized charges to fuel and procurement charges, which were previously reported. It found that an employee improperly charged $7,173 to a corporate fuel card. Two other employees improperly charged $3,184 and $1,114 to procurement cards. Nearly all the money has been paid back. One employee has been dismissed. Nothing has been said about the employment status of the other two. In a written statement, Sask Power said several measures have been taken to prevent procurement and fuel card misuse, including communication to staff about policies, closer procurement tracking by management, and annual sample audits of employee procurement card charges. Sask Energy's investigation is ongoing. It says any corrective measures recommended at the completion of the investigation will be implemented. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Hope is building for many people in Churchill, Manitoba, with the potential to upgrade the town's port.
It would mean everything. It would mean everything to get people back to work and have an opportunity for our youth to stay here if they choose and make their living here.
The port currently operates just 4 months out of the year, but Ottawa has flagged it as a transformative project known as the Port of Churchill Plus. The project would upgrade it to a year-round multi-commodity hub connecting Western Canada to the North and Atlantic through the Hudson Bay. Premier Wab Kinew is going to attend a town hall meeting today to hear what residents have to say about the port's future. An Australian teen's determination is being called superhuman after he swam for hours to save his family.
I think at one point I was thinking of top of the tank engine, trying to get the happiest things in my head, trying to make it through.
That's 13-year-old Austin. He was out in the water with his mom, brother, and sister on an inflatable kayak last Friday. Sudden shift in wind pushed them 4 kilometers out to sea. Austin's mom then asked if he could swim to get help. He swam for about 4 hours before making it to shore. Austin then had to run another couple of kilometers before reaching a phone. But he did find help, and everyone is safe. Austin is still using a crutch to help with his sore legs, no doubt. Now to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation and a new agreement from Bill and Hillary Clinton. ABC's Sophie Flay reports.
Just days before Congress was set to potentially hold them in contempt, former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton have agreed to give depositions as part of a House committee's investigation into sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. For months, the Clintons held their ground against Republican Chairman James Comer's subpoenas, dismissing his demands for in-person depositions as legally toothless and invalid, and slamming the investigation as a political hit job.
This appeared to be a high-stakes game of chicken where both sides were standing off to see who would flinch first.
But after some Democrats said they would join Republicans in recommending contempt charges, the Clintons have now agreed to testify. Neither Bill nor Hillary Clinton has been accused of wrongdoing, and they both deny having any knowledge of Epstein's crimes.
House Republicans cannot be taken seriously on this issue. There have been ongoing discussions by the Clintons and their lawyers to testify that have been repeatedly, apparently, rejected by House Republicans on the Oversight Committee because they don't want a serious interview. They want a charade.
They proposed alternatives to in-person testimony, recently offering to sit for a 4-hour transcribed interview. But Chairman Comer balking at that offer, claiming the former president would try to run out the clock by giving unnecessarily long answers. Comer saying the former president has an established record of being a loquacious individual. And overnight, Comer appearing skeptical that the depositions will actually happen, saying the Clintons' counsel has said they agree to terms, but those terms lack clarity yet again, and they have provided no dates for their depositions.
The House committee says it needs more clarity on what the Clintons are offering. Any depositions will almost certainly take place behind closed doors. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Authorities in Arizona believe the 84-year-old mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie was kidnapped or otherwise taken against her will.
We saw some things at the home that were concerning to us. We believe now, after we processed that crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime.
Officials say it's crucial that Nancy Guthrie is found soon because she could die without her medication. Guthrie was last seen around 9:30 p.m. Saturday at her home in the Tucson area where she lived alone. Guthrie has limited mobility and officials don't believe she left on her own. One Saskatchewan community receiving a major recognition. Despite being a bedroom community, Warman is making some big gains at a national level. Carla Shinkarek with why.
1927, we already had a plan.
It's a great week at the mayor's office in Warman with the Globe and Mail's ranking of the most livable cities being released.
It's wonderful news. And see us move up 115 spots was incredible, and getting the phone call about, what are some of the things that have been happening. And we have a wonderful city. We knew that.
Warman broke the top 20 spot in that ranking, one of the biggest jumps anywhere in Canada. North Vancouver tops the list as Canada's most livable city. Regina came in 7th, but dropped from last year, as did Saskatoon, which is at 15. Warman, meanwhile, is climbing fast, sitting at 19. The distinction doesn't end there.
The safest city in Canada, that was a bit of a surprise, but I think it really is a community effort.
This local isn't surprised.
I've lived here for 28 years, and honestly, it's been a great community to live in. We brought our kids up here. We've been involved in all the community stuff, sports, and I've worked here for 28 years.
Part of Warman's appeal, he says, is avoiding some of the challenges facing big cities.
Maybe just the city's getting busier these last few years, and so that's pushed people outside of Saskatoon coming to Warman.
The community doesn't have some of the other challenges around homelessness that larger cities are dealing with, something the mayor says they're keeping an eye on. The list takes into account things like the economy, housing, healthcare, education, amenities, transportation, and climate. The mayor also says with amenities like the recreation complex, schools, and parks, they attract young families. The average age here is 35, but they're also seeing another trend.
Now the grandparents are following. Since their kids are here, they've followed through. So when they've sold farms or moved towards more of an urban place.
So to give you an idea of just how popular this city has become, the population here in 2003 was just 3,500 people. Now the population is 14,700. Carla Shinkarek, CTV News, Warman.
Now to San Francisco ahead of Super Bowl 60 this Sunday. One of my favorite traditions is checking in with the NFL kid correspondent each year. Here's Becky Worley.
Our super kid, 8th grader Jasmine Resendez, got the chance of a lifetime.
Hello, America. My name is Jasmine, and we'll be interviewing players with me. So let's go. Go Patriots!
First she talked to the Patriots.
How does it feel to be a tight end on the Patriots?
It's special. I think it's the most fun position in football.
Behind me right now is Stephon Diggs, and I'm going to go try and get a question from him, so let's go. If you wasn't a football player, what would you be doing right now?
Well, I got a lot of interests. I'm into furniture. I got my own furniture line now. I'm into clothes. I'm into fashion.
And then she asked questions of the Seahawks.
How excited are you for the Super Bowl?
I'm excited. It's a dream come true.
What was the most difficult adjustment as a rookie?
I think just getting community, finding our group of people.
Ending a stunning debut for our kid correspondent.
Guys, today was super fun, and I hope the whole week will be fun too.
I love the kid reporter. I especially love when it's like a 6-year-old that's just like, I don't know what I'm doing here. This is going to be great.
Yeah. I have a video of myself doing something like that. I think I was around 8.
In BC, right?
In Vancouver, CTV Vancouver. They got to have the video out there somewhere. It wasn't good, though.
Look at you now.
Yeah, let's see if I can do a little bit better than that and actually get my words out, because I was stuttering a lot back then. Let's take a look at some temperatures all across the country this morning. Those light blue colors on the west coast are where we're seeing the warmer temperatures. 9 degrees in Vancouver, -1 in Calgary, -3 in Edmonton, Saskatoon and Regina both at -7. Of course, we have been watching those temperatures as they fluctuate this morning. So it has gotten a little bit cooler, but still not as cool as what we're seeing over in Manitoba. -22 in Winnipeg to wake us up, -19 in Thunder Bay. Over in Ontario, down towards the south, we're seeing nicer temperatures. Toronto at -4 and -11 in Ottawa. Over on the east coast, -3 in Halifax and -1 in St. John's right now. Let's take a look at some temperatures for Saskatchewan later on this afternoon. Here is where we will be peaking. 3 degrees for Swift Current today. 2 degrees for Moose Jaw with a mix of sun and cloud. A little bit more of that cloud down through Weyburn at 1 degree. Estevan, we saw waking up to some fog this morning, and that is going to continue on until the early afternoon, and heavy amounts of cloud cover there again. 0 degrees. -2 for Yorkton this afternoon with that cloud cover. That is a significant improvement from what we have been seeing in the past few days. -2 for Prince Albert, -1 for Saskatoon and Regina. Now, let's take a look at just how average these temperatures are. In Regina, the normal temperature for this time of year is about -8.9, and in Saskatoon, it's -10. So we are seeing some better temperatures today, and especially compared to what we saw last year. On February 3rd in 2025, it was -25.1 in Regina and -24.6 in Saskatoon. So we really can't be complaining about these temperatures today. The record back in the year 1991 in Regina was 6.6 degrees. And in 1954 for Saskatoon, that was 6.1 degrees. Let's take a look at this future cast here. You did see some very light blips on the radar there between Saskatoon and Regina and around the Parkland region with a few flurries. Today, it's just going to be the lightest of dustings. Chance that it might not even come. So don't worry about that, folks. It's not going to be any significant totals. We are talking about, though, Wednesday about 2 a.m. So very early. We see the system coming in from Alberta, impacting northern Saskatchewan with quite a bit of snow. You also see some pink colors coming along with that, so some freezing rain as well. 7-day forecast looking spectacular. 6 degrees tomorrow for Regina, 8 degrees on Thursday. Things are going to be getting really slushy. 2 degrees on Friday with a mix of sun and cloud, 3 degrees on Saturday. And in Saskatoon, pretty similar temperatures, warming up tomorrow to 5 degrees, 7 degrees on Thursday, dropping down to 0 on Friday and 1 degree on Saturday. One of Canada's most electrifying piano performers is coming to Regina's Dark Hall next month. For details on how to experience some high-energy blues, jazz, and swing, performer Michael K-Sammer joins us now. Good morning, and thank you for your time.
Good morning. Yeah, it's nice to be here.
Well, let's jump in. What can people expect from your show when they enter Dark Hall?
Well, for me, I love playing music, and it's all about connecting with the audience. For me, the music is just a vehicle to get into the room, so I think anyone who shows up will have a good time. We're going to heat up the town in March.
And Dark Hall is such an historic venue. How different is it to perform in such a space?
As a performer, it makes a difference what the space feels like and what it sounds like, because, again, just like the audience, it's part of the music and part of the band. And a hall like Dark Hall is obviously great sounding, and with all the history, we're going to try and add something to it. But that's kind of what you remember from touring, is the venues and the audience, and then comes the name of the city.
Well, your performances, as you said, they're known for being high energy and interactive. That's the key component. How important is that connection when you're performing?
For me, that's everything, because touring is fun, but I've been doing it for a long time, and there's pros and cons, and the payoff is always on stage, because that's why you do everything around it that day or that week. And if you find a connection with the audience, and you always find a connection with the audience, it's just always different. So you can't expect anything, just like I didn't expect a certain conversation with you because I didn't meet you before this interview, but now I'm enjoying it, and that's what it's going to be like on stage at the Dark Hall.
Let's talk about some of your favorite parts of performing. You said you love when the audience connects with you. Is there anything else that you're really looking forward to at this show?
Well, I love when people just yell stuff out, because it's, at heart, I really am like a rock pop musician. I just play the piano, which is not a rock instrument really per se. But for me, it's that energy, it needs to be there. And sometimes in certain venues, the venue leads itself that people are quiet and reserved and watch the show rather than participate. And I love when they participate. So yell stuff out. It's interesting that you say that. Most performers would say the opposite. They don't want people shouting at them while they're on stage. But you're different. Okay, so you really do bring the energy. For anyone watching right now who are maybe on the fence about coming to see your show, why should they? Well, it's music is there to connect, like I was saying, and even if you don't like piano, I can't listen to piano all night, so I'm going to have a great band. We've been touring for the last couple of years. We've been to Europe a lot in the last couple of years, and now we're playing a lot of shows in Canada, so you're going to have a good time. If you like piano, it doesn't matter. If you like jazz or pop, it doesn't matter. I think you're just going to have a good time. All right, Michael Kaysheimer, thank you so much for your time this morning. We are looking forward to the show. My pleasure.
Well, Janelle Lippi back down at the Canadian Blood Service Clinic to find out how we can all be part of the solution following a decrease in blood supply after all these winter driving conditions grip much of the province.
Good morning. I'm coming back from the Canadian Blood Service Clinic right here in Regina. Now, Aaron, there are a ton of reasons to give blood, but let's talk about one incentive in specific.
Is that feeling good about doing more in your community and helping save patients right here and across Canada? Or are we talking about the Air Canada Give and Get Away contest? Because we have a really, really exciting event happening in our donor centers here and right across Canada, whereby if you come down, you book an appointment to donate blood, platelets, plasma, or again, register to become a stem cell donor, you can enter to win flights for two anywhere Air Canada flies, and that was provided courtesy of the Air Canada Foundation. So another fantastic reason to get involved with Canadian Blood Services, again, doing more right here in our community, helping patients, but also you get to perhaps get away to the destination Air Canada flies.
All right, well, some warmer climates to potentially look forward to. Now, on a similar note, we are seeing a decrease in donations due to weather and the flu season currently. Let's talk a little bit about who that decrease is impacting and how we can work together to solve this.
Well, again, thanks to the generosity of donors, hospitals are able to deliver blood and blood products when and where needed, but that can be impacted if we cannot collect consistently. When I say collect consistently, obviously weather impacts affect whether or not people can get to our donor center, cold and flu seasons, and as mentioned, people getting away for winter holidays. Every moment of every day, somebody in Canada needs blood or blood products. And our donor centers can help address that need, whereby you can just book that appointment, come in, it only takes a couple of minutes, you get snacks as mentioned, you leave feeling warm and fuzzy, having made an impact in somebody's life, but of course, you can also enter that draw for tickets through Air Canada.
All right, Aaron. Well, thank you so much for spending the morning with us here this morning. Again, come on down to your local blood service clinic. All the more reason to get involved. Giving your blood could save a life.
Y'all want to work in a steel mill like me for the rest of your days?
No, sir.
Yeah, because I sure as hell don't. Y'all willing to fight for it?
Yes, sir.
I need to hear you a little louder. Y'all willing to fight for it?
Yes, sir.
The official trailer is out for Michael. Two-time Oscar nominee Coleman Domingo plays Joe Jackson, with Jafar Jackson, Michael's nephew, in the title role. The film, tracing the life and career of the iconic performer, arrives in theaters April 24th.
Hey you, I see you.
Jessica Chastain wades into Me Too waters in a new film. Variety reports the Oscar winner will star in This Is Pleasure, as a woman whose closest friend, played by Chris Pine, faces accusations of misconduct. The film will be based on an acclaimed novella by Mary Gateskill.
The big snowstorm is coming next week. That's when we'll start the campaign.
Stranger Things, Tales from 85 takes place between seasons 2 and 3 of the live-action show, using an 80s animation style for an adventure featuring the Hawkins kids and a mysterious new threat. This teaser just dropped. The series debuts April 23rd on Netflix. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The dogs are out in New York City, vying for the biggest bone in the canine world. It's the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show.
Yeah, and ABC's Danny New took us behind the scenes to see some of the most beautiful dogs competing this year.
Where are we? We're on the floor of Madison Square Garden because, guess what? It's Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show number 150.
Before a new Best in Show gets crowned tonight, we went behind the scenes at MSG and the Javits Center to meet some of the 3,000 canine contestants for Westminster 150.
I love you. I love you.
Which I totally handled like a professional.
Sir, can I help you? Can I hold this for you?
Folks come from all 50 states and more to multitask and get their dog ready for the judge of their respective breed. Ryan and his Afghan hound Joey are from Wisconsin. We also met 16-year-old Mackenzie and her pal Slim from Montana.
About 14 years.
Since you were 2?
Mackenzie says she's been grooming dogs for basically her entire life.
You start here and you brush all the way down. All the way down, yep.
Of course, all of the 200 breeds represented have a certain look their owner needs to maintain for the judges.
Look at this. How do you maintain this?
You really don't do very much.
Like the Bergamasco sheepdog, which Donna from Pennsylvania says only requires a few baths a year.
How does Flambe see?
Well, you sort of take out the hair here a little bit, so there's little tunnels there.
And Flambe the Briard, who has special ponytails when it's not showtime.
I'll wear them.
And then there are Pomeranians like Gracie here.
You're so sweet. I'll give you the world. I'll give you all my money. Oh, my God.
Who I think just require a lot of love, right?
The giant schnauzer.
But no matter what nerves or pressure these dog lovers might be feeling to win it all, here's what Robin from Michigan says her first time competing has felt like.
I am like in love with it. It's on my calendar for next year, and I'm already saving my pennies.
So the winner gets crowned tonight, and if you can't stay up too late, good news. He or she shall be visiting Good Morning America Wednesday morning, making rounds as champion. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
That one dog can't see. Like that hair is right here.
I don't get it.
They are pretty though. The one dog reminded me of my grandma's old dog, Hero, the little sheepdog with the.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was weird to pet that thing. Hair flying everywhere.
I'm very intrigued though.
Let's get to our sidebar. If you were wondering how cold it's been in New York City, because that's always on everybody in Saskatchewan's mind, it's too cold for these guys. The penguins have been moved indoors at the Long Island Aquarium. To be fair, they are an endangered species from South Africa. Their waterproof feathers are just not built for any Arctic air, so inside they go. Waddle, waddle, waddle.
Look at them.
Look at them go down the stairs.
Sunday best, always wearing their tux.
All right, well, the Baltic Sea is frozen on Poland's coast, and people are stepping outside to take a look. This is a rare occurrence, so people living in the area just had to walk out on the ice. Parts of the country saw lows as cold as -22 over the weekend, making for a frigid winter wonderland.
There's a couple weeks a year in Saskatchewan where I beg for -22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When -22 is a relief. I think I was saying that a few weeks ago after that cold snap.
Yeah, that's so true. My goodness. When you're not used to it, though, quite a scene.
Yeah.
Quite a scene. I know everybody loves to see where the Olympic torch is. Jeremy, where is it now?
It is at Lake Como, right?
Of course.
It's been on that 12,000-kilometer trip around Italy ahead of the opening ceremony. So visiting Lake Como, the torchbearer got to hitch a ride on a boat for a scenic trip. Games open Friday.
Friday.
Oh, boy. I'm so excited.
Friday already.
Yeah.
Olympic hockey. I'm excited for that one. And the luge. I love the luge. It's just such a, a thrill. Like, I think that would be such a thrill.
I feel like these Olympic Games have snuck up on us.
They have a little bit. We're going to sneak right on out, and we'll be back in about 23 or 22 hours or so.